WTEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagle talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Good morning. Thought I'd help you wake up.
It's 6 a.m. and you're listening to The John Kincade Show, Philadelphia's longest-running sports talk morning show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Let the party begin!
The show starts now.
Good morning, everybody. May the 4th be with you. Coach Eric Camille is so pumped up about today.
Thank you, Bob.
Star Wars fan that he is. Tough day, but guess what? Here's how I'm going to let you know that today's okay. Pat, I'm talking to you right now. The Mets lost a doubleheader to the Detroit Tigers last night.
Good Tigers team.
The weather, it's going to be great this weekend. Karen Rogers told me it's going to be a high of 69 on Saturday, Connor.
Nice.
That's good stuff. Tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo.
Heard of it.
That just means you drink all day, and it's on a Friday. And Coach even gave us the go-ahead that we can drink
I didn't.
in our in-house studio
Never said that.
show tomorrow.
Didn't say it.
The Flyers, they didn't lose last night. Let's look at it that way. Bryce Harper, Pat, 3 for 3 with 2 walks.
Uh-huh. Looked real good.
Tomorrow is payday for us. We get paid tomorrow for talking sports.
Okay.
And for those who have 5-day work weeks, this time in 48 hours, we're still going to be asleep. The Eagles still had the best draft of anybody in the NFL just 1 week ago. There's plenty of things to be happy about, and this is the biggest one. The Sixers come home from a 2-game trip in Boston in Series 2 of the NBA playoffs, and they're tied at 1. All right? Are we good, Connor?
Yeah, listen, I'm okay. I'm good. It wasn't a fun game last night. Like, I didn't enjoy yesterday's sports proceedings.
Let me expand on that just a little bit. It blew.
Yeah.
It sucked.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Okay.
I was watching an episode of Seinfeld in the third quarter. I switched over. I mean, that's how bad it was.
Okay.
Last night sucked, Pat. But
That's one way to look at it.
you come back 1-1.
It wasn't fun. I will give the Sixers, I will thank them in this regard. Not only did they come back 1-1, they didn't do to me what the Phillies did to me yesterday, which is string me along to kick me in the junk.
You're missing the positive theme here, Pat.
I'm not missing the positive thought, Bob. If you would shut your mouth, I would get to the positive thought, okay? The positive thought is I was able to shut the game off with 10 minutes to go and not waste my damn time.
There you go.
And I was able to move on.
I should have put that down also. We welcome everybody.
A lot of
John
positivity
Kincade
going
show.
on here today in the John Kincade show.
Last night sucked. It was horrible. We all know it. I hear you. You're in your car today. You turn us on, or you're at home, and you're as down as we are. But what are you going to do? It happened. It's over. It's 1-1. You're coming back Friday night. It's going to be fun as hell. Joel Embiid's going to get an MVP trophy. He worked out a little bit of the rust that he had last night. We'll talk all about it and everything. But we want to thank you for joining us here on the John Kincade Show. Bob Cooney, the aforementioned Pat Egan, Connor Thomas, Coach Eric Camille. Haley's back there doing the YouTube stuff. John is out under the weather today. So hopefully we'll see him tomorrow before we start our weekend and on the eve of Game 3. All right, we can't sugarcoat it anymore. We tried to in the first 4 minutes.
Didn't work.
Sixers blew last night.
Wasn't good.
It was horrible. How do you handle it? As a team, as a coaching staff, you have to wipe it off. You have to say, we got what we wanted. You got the 1-1 split. You get on the plane last night. You say, go home, boys, and sleep in your own bed. Get ready for Friday, because that's when this series really starts. Plenty of negatives to take away last night, Pat, but is there carryover? Is there things that you look at and you say, this really looked bad for the series? Because I got a couple of texts that are negative, but what's your overriding feeling? Is it towards last night's game or the overwhelming 2-game stretch?
No, it's kind of what you talked about. Just turn the page. It's one bad game. Move on. Get over it. I didn't necessarily take away anything from yesterday going, oh, my God, the series is done. They're going to come back. Nothing's changed. No, I didn't take it like that. I just took it as Boston had an incredible third quarter. I don't know if the Sixers scored a basket in it.
I think they're still looking for it. I think you're right on that.
Yeah, and it was just one of those games. One of those games that you move on from, but ultimately you got what the fan base wanted, what we all would have signed up for when the series started, which is you split it in Boston. You have an opportunity to come home in Philly and kind of seize the moment and get the series back in your corner. So I don't look at it all doom and gloomish.
So I don't want to say 5 minutes, maybe middle first quarter. I get a text from one of our friends, Connor.
Okay.
And it says, see, this is the reason there was no reason to play Joel Embiid.
Stop.
And I said, stop. There's a lot of time to go. Stop. Whatever. If your best player is ready to go, you have to play him.
Yeah, he was cleared. Like, he was ready to go. He wanted to play. Joel Embiid got to play. It's not like the dude got hurt in the damn game. They lost. It's okay. They're going to – listen, they could beat Boston. They'd still have 2 rounds to go. They're going to lose other playoff games. You're not going to have your best night every night, okay? They had to, even though it was a tight game in game 1, they had a couple guys who basically had their best possible nights, and they still won by a small margin. It happens, okay? You're going to go out and have – Boston's a good team. When we did our predictions at the end of yesterday's show, everyone besides Bobby Positivity over there said the Sixers were going to lose. And then we found out Joel Embiid's playing, and we did the whole, they're going to win by 40 thing. But I think in all of our minds, we still thought it was a really tough spot for the Sixers to come out of Boston up 2-0. So, whatever, par for the course. It wasn't pretty, but it wasn't the Sixers have these fatal flaws that have just been realized. No, they had a bad night. Boston shot the lights out. You move on.
They had a real bad night. Yeah. And as somebody on YouTube already said, throw it in the bagster, get
Correct.
ready for game 3. Probably the best way you got to go about it.
It's the only way to go about it. What are you going to do? Harp on a game where they shot whatever from 3 and they couldn't miss in the third quarter and you just were kind of in a funk? No. Drop it. We know how good this Sixers team can be when they're going well. They're going to be at home. They're going to have a better scenario on Friday night. We'll see how it goes.
All right, so there's something that both teams have done now.
Win a game.
Correct.
That is correct.
I'm all
but
over
they've
it.
also overcome adversity in a big way. Sixers go into game 1. You're missing the MVP of the league. Joel Embiid is out. Did many people give them a chance? No, because of that fact. You're playing one of the best teams in all of basketball, second best record in the league, in the Boston Celtics, and you're missing your best player. And you go out there and you win. Adversity galore. You go out there and you win a game where Boston shoots the hell out of the ball, where Boston plays almost as good as a game as you can see them play, and you still go out there and win game 1. Great. You overcame adversity. Boston goes into last night with just the things I just said. Shot the hell out of the ball, played a really good game, still couldn't find a way to beat the Sixers. That's adversity. They come back with the performance they had last night. To me, Pat, and I don't know if you're on the same page as this, game 3 to me is going to show, I think, who the better team is.
I don't know.
Okay.
Because if in game 3 Boston goes out there in enemy territory and ends up taking game 3, I'm going to be sitting there going, well, yeah, but the Sixers took game 1. They took the first road game. So why can't they take game 2? I don't necessarily think that like game 3 is this, pivotal matchup. I think I could spin the narrative one way or the other.
Right.
If the Sixers win, then yeah, absolutely. It was the most important game of the season and they took it and series is over and look out. But if they lose, I don't think I'm looking at it like, man, that was it.
Yeah.
Boston all of a sudden figured stuff out. It'll hurt in the sense of it's 2 games in a row. But I still don't think I'll be doom and gloomish.
So Connor, when I said to you before the show, I know people are hurt. I know people are upset today, angry today. I don't want to feed into that. I'm not stupid to see what didn't happen or what happened last night. I saw it. I hated it. It angered me. I didn't like it at all. No one did. But if we look big picture and you try to come away with a positive, besides it just being 1-1, what's the positive going into Friday night?
You're coming back home with an opportunity, like the vibe in the building, not just the 1-1. Forget about what the record in the series would be. It wouldn't matter if they were down 0-2 in this series. The Wells Fargo Center is going to be as electric as it may be this whole postseason run on Friday night. That environment is going to be as conducive to Sixers gaining a home court advantage than anything else you could create. Yeah, I was in baseball mode. But no, I mean, that building's going to be unbelievable. Like TD Garden was amped up last night.
Yeah.
It's going to be another level on top of that because of the Joel Embiid trophy presentation for the MVP that we assume is going to happen on Friday night. To watch him play, to be able to know that you stole a game in Boston. I know that's kind of cheating because that's feeding into what you said, like outside of the 1-1. But even if it was 0-2, just being able to come home and having that environment is going to be huge for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, I didn't think the Sixers were going to sweep this series.
No.
I didn't think they were going to go into Boston and win both games. I come away saying Joel Embiid, the thing last night, for the people that are saying he shouldn't have played, please stop. He's the best player in the league. He was healthy enough to play.
Shouldn't have played.
You put the best player on the court on your team.
How many
If you're
wins
coaching,
do they have with him?
You're right. They're 0-1 in the second round with them.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And without him, how
They
many
were
wins do
2-0. I would sit them on
I
Friday.
rest my
You're
case.
right. I would sit them
rest
on
my
Friday
case.
night. I mean, if Doc Rivers' motive last night was to get him out there and get some rust off, I don't know. Devon and I talked about it on the pregame. Did you think he was going to go 35 minutes? And this before the game started, I said, I don't know. It might be a 25 to 30-minute night. Maybe it goes the way the game goes. I didn't know. He looked rusty in parts. I don't know why he's trying to throw like one-handed passes if he is rusty. That kind of bothered me. There's many things that bothered us about the game last night.
I'll tell you what didn't bother me about the game. That dude's defensive effort.
How about that?
Yeah.
5 blocks in the first half?
And this is probably the only flaw of Boston's game last night. The hell are they doing? Trying to dunk on that guy? I mean, don't do that. This isn't game one.
That's what the Pat. Don't do that.
This isn't game one. You're trying to dunk on him, and he's just routinely stopping guys at the rim. The rim protection that out to everybody. The broadcast harped on it quite a bit, but the rim protection that wasn't there in game one certainly came back in game two when he was out there.
Yeah, he had his timing defensively. And one of the announcers pointed that out.
Reggie Miller pointed it out.
Yeah, Reggie Miller. Okay. A lot of times offensively, when you haven't played in 2 weeks and you're coming off a knee injury, which goes a lot to shooting, you can understand the rust there. But his timing was terrific last night on blocking shots. And timing, you don't just jump because you can jump through the ceiling or you're 7'2". Blocking shots is an art, and he showed it really, really well last night, Connor.
Yeah, he looked great defensively. Had no issue with that. Offensively, rusty, but it's also nice. Another positive about Joel Embiid's night last night, if we're trying to find as many positives as possible, it might have been the perfect scenario for him to come back. Now, obviously you want to win, but on an individual basis with Joel Embiid's health at the forefront, maybe the best scenario is a low-intensity game where it never really was that close late. He gets a chance to rest. He gets a chance to basically play half a game, and he gets a little bit of the rust knocked off without... Like, if that game was tight the whole way, Joel Embiid is going to want to play 35, 40 minutes. Like, he's that type of competitor.
He's going to have to.
Well, whether or not the Sixers would let him, I don't know what the doctors were telling him behind the scenes, but the fact that he was able to rest and get a little bit of that rust knocked off may be better for his performance throughout the rest of the series than if he would have had to burn it out game one that he played and then all of a sudden be tired for the next two at home.
Yeah. All right, Pat, if I were to say to you, what was your impression of Embiid's performance last night, how could you sum that up?
Rusty. Probably as expected. I think I fell into the camp fell in the camp that he probably, before the game, I'm like, he's going to go off. The report of him telling teammates I'm back, he wins the MVP. I didn't think that there was a world where he didn't score at least 25. I really thought he'd be a man on a mission. And then when the game gets going, I had to sit back and remind myself, this guy's coming off of 2 weeks not playing.
Yeah.
Rust is going to be a factor, and it's showing. And that didn't worry me. I actually had the same thought of Connor, of maybe this is a good thing. Maybe knock the rust off in a game that you need every game in the playoffs, but that game last night was a luxury because you took game one. Knock the rust off there so that you're a little more acclimated to the speed and the style of play and all of that in game three, which is it's a bigger game.
Yeah.
Bigger game because it's your first game home. So I wasn't overly surprised. I mean, the one thing I was surprised at, which is what I just talked about, the defensive effort. I did not expect him to go out there and have 5 blocks.
Yeah.
I expected him to have 1, but 5.
Look good out there.
Meeting Jaylen Brown at the rim and just swatting.
That was a hell of a block.
I mean, it was incredible.
That was a great
Jaylen
block.
Brown had a chance to put him on a poster, and he said no.
Oh, it was terrific. What do you got, Coach?
Let me play devil's advocate for a second.
You do that.
Let's
All
not.
Devil you.
Yeah. I'm Boston radio listening to The Fanatic this morning, and I hear excuses being made by Philadelphia radio hosts for a loss. And were they exposed last night? Or are these legitimate excuses? I do air quotes for excuses. Were the Sixers exposed at all last night?
Exposed? Their perimeter defense was horrible. Has that been a question all year? Yeah. Their lifelessness is how I'll put it. When you have Joel Embiid coming back, is horrible. Don't like that at all. Their offense was stuck. I think Reggie Miller said it. Man, they're just running in mud all night. That's inexcusable. I'm not sugarcoating this they won the first. They were horrible last night. But there's 2 ways you go about today as a fan, as us, talking to the fans out there. Do you harp on it or do you move on?
Yeah, I don't think we're making excuses saying, this won't happen again in the series because this, that, and the other thing. We're just saying you got what you went to Boston for. That game sucked, but we know the Sixers are a better team than that. So address what you need to address and go out and prove you can handle your business at home on Friday, and then we'll reassess where we're at in the series. But it's not panic button time because the Celtics did what a lot of people thought they could do at home against the Sixers, maybe not by that margin, but to win a game comfortably. They basically had a double-digit line for both of the first 2 games. So I don't think we're making excuses. I think we're just saying wipe it.
Neither of these teams are 30 points better than the other.
No.
Consistently. A game here and there, yeah. But consistently, no, neither of these teams are. So, I would be blown away if you're going to get a repeat performance in game 3 of what you saw last night.
A lot of weird factors in game 1 and game 2. Lots to talk about going into game 3. What concerned you last night? I don't think, and we'll get into this more, there was a lot to take out of last night's game if you're a Sixers fan. But you know what, Pat? Tomorrow is National Hoagie Day. That's right. Don't settle for an average hoagie. Make it primo. Enjoy $6.99 primo size Italian, turkey, and cheese, or ham and cheese all day. It's not just a hoagie. It's a primo. What puts you in the best mood food-wise, Pat? If you say, oh, my God, my baseball team lost. Wait, you might not know. My baseball team lost last night. My basketball team lost last night. I got to get something to eat that's going to make me feel good. Your choice is?
Is he serious right now, Connor?
Are you serious? Who are you asking? You might as well ask him his name. What's your last name, Pat?
What are you talking about?
I had a big one last night. Little Cold Stone Creamery.
All right, ice cream's good.
Got
It's
half
ice cream.
marshmallow, half chocolate.
You don't know that.
He's the ice cream guy.
This dude goes out. He goes out to brunch on weekends and has favorite things.
Put some white chocolate chips. She didn't mix it in though, which was weird.
Did you? Did you stir it up when you got it?
I wasn't really able to, but I wasn't gonna make the girl put it back and chop it. I just went with it.
All right.
I'm not high maintenance like that.
So today, will you get a little more ice cream to make you feel happier after that Sixers performance?
I don't know.
I think you should.
I might. I got a thing of Ben and Jerry's in my freezer,
Okay.
so I might partake.
There it is.
Yeah,
There you go.
Can't go wrong with that.
All right. All right, we're here to make you feel good today.
Now let me ask you the question.
What?
What's the food that makes you feel good?
Um,
Other than beer. That's not a food.
good. That's not a food. Something that goes with beer. Food that makes me feel good. I will go with a good dinner. So I'll say like let me grill a steak,
Okay.
and I feel really good. And maybe a glass of wine with that steak. I'm good to go.
All right. What about Connor and Coach?
Connor?
Love the big wiener.
Just get coaches out of the way there.
Yeah, good
I'm-
move.
I'm a big burger guy. Nice, easy burger. Put a little cheese on there, maybe some onions.
How
Maybe
about
a
bacon?
Yeah, bacon's a nice item. to have
A
on
little
burger.
bacon. Are you a
American
ketchup
cheese.
man or I go mayonnaise on my burger?
I like a little ketchup and mayonnaise sometimes, or I'll just go
Ooh,
no
you
condiments. If it's a good burger, I'll eat it dry.
You got to be careful going no condiments.
No, well, I mean,
It's
I
how
like to
Bobby
live
ended up with 4
dangerously.
kids.
Dangerous there.
Yeah.
Coach, is it the wiener for you? Is the wiener your comfort zone?
Kinda.
All right.
Thank you, Bob. But if it's not a hot dog, it's probably wings.
I do like wings a lot. Pizza's a
And he
close
gets
second.
his wings from Rastelli's, right?
Rastelli's has tremendous.
They really
wings.
do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got him for the holidays this past holiday. Okay, here, John Kincade Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. When we return, yeah, we're trying to keep it a little bit positive if we can, but we have to look deeper into the game. What concerns you most? Things that might carry over, things you don't want to carry over, things that happened in game 1 that didn't happen in game 2. Well, where are you leaning? That it's going to happen more from game 1 or more from game 2? But I got to tell you right now, Pat, because I know you're listening.
Now on Odyssey. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
We need some good pick-me-up music today, Pat. Bounce backs have to be good.
This isn't it for me.
This doesn't do it. No, not too much at 6:28 in the morning. But we're trying here on the John Kincade Show. Welcome back, everybody.
You know what we're going to get now that you said that?
What?
I don't want to. Yeah. We're going to get some stupid whistling that's going to put me in an even worse mood.
Who's going to whistle?
We're going to hear the Don't Worry, Be Happy.
That dude there
okay.
is
No,
gonna,
don't
is
do
gonna
that.
Start clicking
I'm
around
begging
with
you,
his
don't
mouse.
do that.
You just asked for it.
He's
No,
gonna
I
start
didn't.
Clicking around with his mouse, and next thing you know, we're going to be bumping back to some dude whistling Dixie.
Nah, don't do that.
I like that song.
It doesn't.
You don't like
no,
that song?
Majority
That song
rules
sucks.
here, and that song no doesn't
Well,
get it done
majority,
for us.
we're 2v2 right now. We might have to go to Haley to break
Jamie,
the tie.
Jamie would be.
No, we're not. We're 3 against 1. Coach doesn't want it.
Oh, yeah. We're good. We're good with that one.
No, that's what
I'll
I'm
throw
talking
that
about.
in there coming
When I
up
said
next.
the guy clicking around with his mouse, I meant Coach.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Coach puts it in.
Yeah, Bobby McFerrin's coming up at 7 o'clock.
Coach loves him.
No,
But
don't
no,
wanna
man,
hear.
it is the majority because it's me, Bob, and the listeners.
We don't
And
know
then
that.
It's just you guys in there who love that song.
You can't speak for every listener.
I can. I just did.
Let's put up a Twitter poll.
Watch me.
All
Watch
right,
me speak
couple
for the
things
listener.
here. This is the John Kincade Show. Listen, YouTube people, we love you to death. You know I interact with you a lot. John's under the weather. Okay, please don't start any other narrative. John's under the weather. He's not here. He's hoping to be back tomorrow. Please don't go anywhere else with it. Don't get personal. Don't let's just let that one ride. Also, I want to remind you, and YouTubers also, tomorrow, Cinco de Mayo. Come on in. We're going to be drinking all morning long during the show, right, Coach?
That's not.
That's right. We're doing
Tequila
our first
Yeah.
tequila shots.
We're getting
Wait, what was
drunk.
I watching last night that they did? I don't know. I turned something on
The
and they were
Sixers
doing
during the second half
tequila.
on the
Yeah,
bench.
right on the bench. Doc Rivers is doing shots in the second quarter. But tomorrow we're doing our first Friday show, driven by David Auto. So come on in. If you want to be a part of our live studio audience, all you have to do is go to 97.5thefanatic.com and secure yourself a spot with a guest. Deke's Barbecue, they're bringing in breakfast. I'm already hungry for that. I actually woke up thinking about that today, Pat. Barbecue for breakfast tomorrow. I don't think we can beat that.
I was processing.
Okay.
I live very close to Deke's. It is a staple.
Staple in the
It
Egan
is a
household?
staple. It is a little treat, a little payday treat, you know?
Okay.
You know,
Tomorrow's
it's
payday,
like-
too.
It's like, all right, let me travel on down to Deke's. It's really good barbecue.
Yeah, can't wait. So listen to these in-studio guests tomorrow. How about World Series winning manager Charlie Manuel will be in with us?
I've heard of him.
He is the man. He'll be in with us. Keith Pompey, who covers the Sixers. Mark Zumoff, the world-class announcer that used to be the announcer for the Sixers. And actor-comedian Harland Williams. They're all scheduled to appear.
Well,
Plus-
there's a couple other people.
That's why I said the word plus.
Well, here's the thing. I started saying there's a couple other people as you were,
Okay.
so I couldn't take it back, so I just had to commit.
Plus other people. But here's the big thing. And people out there, you got to come. It's really fun to hang out. Just see what we're all about. We get to talk, hang out with you. We'd love to see you, see what you're all about. But also, someone in attendance tomorrow morning will walk away with Sixers tickets for tomorrow night. Game 3 tickets are on the board. They're going to be at the ready. They're going to be handed to someone tomorrow, Pat.
Can it be me?
So, it cannot be you. No, you're not. Yes, Coach. How can we help you?
Plus, Steven Singer, our friend, is going to be in tomorrow as well in studio with some nice prizes.
Wow.
Not only are
Plus-
we going to give them away on the air, but in studio for Mother's Day coming up.
Plus, Bob Cooney will be there in attendance. Huh? That's enough to make me come out for the show.
Yeah. Okay. I apologize to those that will come and be disappointed in the presence of myself.
Never.
I don't know.
Bob's
Could
that
be.
guy.
But yeah, come on out tomorrow. It's a great time.
is fun.
It's fun to hang with all you guys. YouTubers, we were messing with you yesterday. But listen, bring your computer in.
No,
Have at
I'm
us.
dead serious about that. I think that
would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll give you the Wi-Fi password for $5, and you guys can hop on and do whatever you guys do in the chat, and it'll be funny.
Or
Yeah.
in like 2023, they could just comment on their phones because you can do that.
Connor.
Why are you such a downer?
You're treating this like some land party. They're playing World of Warcraft back in 2010.
It's not nearly as funny if they're doing it on their phones, jackass.
Yeah, that's much more efficient.
Where did we get him?
I don't know, but he
just
got
showed
issues.
up one day.
You know, he's all pumped up because he's got his second rec league basketball game tonight.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Playing the team that gave up 79 points in the first game, so I don't think their defense is all that. I was over 2 from the foul line the first game. I got to work on that.
Nope.
I took the ball to the rim well, but I think I have to work on my outside shooting.
Oh,
That's the
let's air
scouting
out
report
our
we got
dirty
this morning.
laundry.
Nope. Bob asked me how the team we were playing was, and I told him, well, they gave up 79 points
Did
last
you
week.
not give me
And-
all of that
and then
info
you-
also?
You asked me the question. Don't act like
no,
I
I
was
didn't.
volunteering this information. Yes, you did.
I will
You
say.
said I have
Yes,
to
you
get
did.
myself ready for tonight because last game I didn't ask you.
You asked me about the team we were playing, and you just brought it
That's
up like
it.
I'm just rattling off a scouting report.
You did.
I don't like when best friends fight. Look,
We're not fighting.
To defend Connor, and I wasn't there with the conversation.
Where were you, by the way?
That's what my contacts in.
How they feel today? Your eyes
they're
look
good-
a lot
they're good
better. You
today.
don't look as stoned as you
They're
did
good today.
yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, my eyes are still pretty itchy. And then I think it's going to be an okay day for allergy meds. But to defend Connor a little bit, and I
Thank
wasn't
you.
there for the conversation, but Bob is Bob cares. Bob genuinely cares about everybody on the show, like no BS. And he'll ask, hey, how was your weekend? And he'll listen to you and ask questions. And he actually cares what's going on in your life. And
Here
Bob
comes
is
a big butt.
no, there's no but. Bob routinely will go, like to me, for example, hey, did you have a game last night? If I say yes, he'll go, oh, how did you guys do? How did you do? How was the team? Like, he'll actually expand on the question. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that you don't realize you actually did ask for that information.
Yeah,
no,
and then
I realize. You shut up for 1 second. I do realize. And I did say, but, all right, it started with, I have a game tonight. I said, okay, how is the team you're playing? They gave up 79 points in the first game, so they're not that good defensively. I did not have a follow-up question. I know the questions I asked. It used to be my profession. I did not have a follow-up. I got the rest of the information that I just relayed to you and the board listeners out there, everything that I just told you.
To once again defend Connor. You asked how the team was that they're playing. He gave you a full scouting report thinking that you were a basketball guy.
He was anticipating.
Clearly, you just got exposed. That is stolen basketball guy valor. You should apologize to the listener.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
So good luck tonight, Kyle. You played 6:15.
6:15, yes, sir.
Now, do you think one of my questions was, what time do you play tonight?
You play 6:15?
Yeah.
Dude, you're so lucky. I had a game tonight at 8:30, and I was like pumped for that.
I'll leave you guys some tickets at will call. It's tough to get in, but I'll save you a couple.
Here's the big question, and for the listeners out there, this might be more entertaining than actually talking about the Sixers game. What's your team name?
Insurance policy.
What's the team you're playing?
Brick City.
Gee,
Is that their name?
that's pretty funny.
Or is that the name
That's
you
pretty-
gave them?
No, that's pretty funny.
No, that's their name.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah. Insurance policy?
I don't know. I didn't have a hand in it.
It's the best. Okay. The team names in men's rec league,
Oh, sure.
beer leagues are always interesting.
If you're not sponsored by somebody, it's always cool the names that you come up with.
Yeah, some of them
Right?
are good, some of them are creative, and then some of them suck.
I think the
Imaginary.
best name, all right, let's go fantasy football. The best team name that I came across was when a certain tight end played for the Eagles,
It's so good.
my ball, Zach Ertz.
You're trying too hard.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. Why is it trying too hard?
not
That's not bad.
So I was in a league, and then we'll get back to the Sixers after this. But
Let's get back to the Sixers.
well, I can tell Coach is like, what are they doing in there? I had a fever dream. This is not even a joke. I had a fever dream where I was told to name my team after Paul Grassmanis. Do you remember Paul Grassmanis, the defensive
Sure I
tackle
do.
from Notre Dame?
Absolutely.
I was told to name my team after him. So I named him the Praying Paul Grassmanises because in the fever dream, there was a praying mantis. And I woke up from this fever dream because it was during like swine flu when that was like the it flu going around.
Okay.
I woke up, named my team, and we ended up like going to the finals in a pretty big money league. So I ended up keeping the team name for like a couple years.
What are you doing before bed? You got to stop hanging out with Aaron Rodgers.
No, dude, it was
On a
this
vision
was
quest.
the same. This was the same dream-ish sickness that I had when I started the Fanatic, and Coach thought I was on drugs. When I came in,
Sounds like
training,
Coach might have been right.
and Coach was convinced like this dude's doing meth in the parking lot, and I don't blame him. Like I was a wreck. Swine flu messed me up good. It did a number on me, but I, just like Joel Embiid, I persevered, I rehabbed, and I'm thriving.
Coach, can you please comment on the quote that Pat is thriving, given by Pat?
He's not thriving. I mean, look.
Wow.
The bar's set pretty low with Pat.
Wow. Never mind. Turn his mic off, Connor.
No. Keep going. He's not wrong. I need this. I'm B-ball Paul.
Sometimes I need a kick in the ass.
Yeah, I'm B-ball Paul. Come on, PJ Tucker.
And you know what? And Pat does know that. How long have you been here?
It will be 12 years. It's 12 years this month.
Okay. The luckiest 12 years of your life?
Yeah,
okay.
I guess. I talk sports for a living. Of course it's the luckiest 12 years of my life. Yeah.
How long you been married?
No personal question.
That's pretty lucky, too.
No, if you go to some certain sites for the right price, they'll fly them over.
You're an idiot.
And they get a green card, you get a wife, and it's all good.
I get home yesterday.
What do you say, Donna?
I get home yesterday, and Donna says to me, she goes, God, I think the best part of the show today was listening to Pat giggle. And I'm like, what? She goes, I've never heard that. When she goes, I hate when you do it. She hates when I giggle and like I can't talk, which happens every so often. But she said when Pat was giggling yesterday, it made her day. And it's a giggle day, Pat. You got to giggle. Last night was silly, stupid, hated what the Sixers did. We got to giggle it off.
I had a 40-minute car ride yesterday, and for whatever reason, that segment popped into my head of us trying to talk sports and me going, all right, and then you guys just ripping me for saying it. And I couldn't stop laughing in the car, so it carried over.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll play some DMX for Pat coming up next, make him a little bit happier.
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out? Who?
Yeah,
the Sixers did it. That sucked. And for anyone who thought that segment sucked, it was a little bit of a distraction.
Yeah,
30-point loss.
What are you going to do?
Last night.
But in Pat's point of view, we hate to do it, but we're going to have to dive a little bit deeper into what happened with the Sixers last night.
This is Pat's point of view. Here's Pat.
Now, look, the third quarter got completely out of hand.
Got outscored by 20.
Really, really bad third quarter. But I don't know how you guys felt. I felt like they had, an abundance of missed opportunities in the first half where they could have asserted their dominance and taken a lead and really stretched it, because I didn't think Boston was shooting that great in the first half.
No, they weren't. Neither team was shooting well.
It was like the team Connor's playing tonight, Brick City. And they would force a Boston miss after a bad three-point shot by one of the Celtics players. And they would get the ball. They'd bring it down, give you a chance to either tie the game, get closer, take the lead, whatever. And then they would have a bad possession. I mean, the first half was a trade-off of who can have a worse possession. And it can't happen in Game 3. If Boston is going to give you an opportunity to really extend a lead where a 20-point deficit in the third, that doesn't feel insurmountable. It's going to be annoying. But if you're able to capitalize on all those Boston bad possessions in the first half, then that 20-point third quarter swing, you're still in the game.
Yeah.
But because they went into the half down, you jump out in the third quarter. It's like, all right, well, what Seinfeld episode is on? What's going on Netflix? Like, I can turn this game off.
Yeah.
And so it is imperative that they actually capitalize when Boston gives them an opportunity to take a game. I felt like they didn't do it yesterday for sure.
I said it about 3 or 4 times last night to the tune of, I must have said it loudly because our son Tommy came up from downstairs and yelled at me to shut up and stop screaming at the TV. The Sixers played stupid basketball at times last night too. Stupid. Not getting back defensively. B-ball Paul, again, losing guys down low. Stupid fouls. I'm sorry, Tobias Harris, hello. When you're on a fast break, Joel Embiid does not take alley-oop passes. He doesn't. He can't jump. He doesn't take alley-oops. You can't throw it to him. You tried it again. He caught it and missed the layup. I mean, it was key. The Sixers were down like 8. You get that layup or whatever. That sucked. George Niang can't play in the series, guys. I said it last night on the show. I think I said it yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
You can't. He can't play in the series. And I think I said it yesterday on the show.
You said it yesterday? You said the day before, too?
I said, watch when he comes in the game and watch what Boston does immediately offensively. I kid you not. He came in that game last night. They looked and passed the ball to who he was covering, and it was a dribble drive penetration and a foul. I mean, and then the offensive possession, he has an open three, and he doesn't take it and tries to dribble drive. And what are you going to do, dribble drive?
What was that?
I'm sorry. The minivan during this time off has added 2 new seats also. He looks like he's put on some poundage during this time off.
Wow.
He does. Fat shaman.
Were you checking out George Niang?
No, but it sounds like
It looks like the uniform got a little tighter. I think there's an extra 2 seats in the back of the minivan.
You know what's amazing, Connor, is Bob loses 20 pounds. He looks svelte. He looks healthy. He looks great. And have you noticed that since losing this weight, all of a sudden Bob is pinpointing?
He was
talking about your breakfast yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
I admire you for being able to eat that much. It's not shaming.
Go to break.
I might have to. All right, when we get back, Connor's going to talk to us about a point that he has with that Sixers game last night.
Yes, body positivity.
Not a lot of positivity at all coming out last night. But
Fat-shaming players.
if you can look at the big picture, they are 1-1. All right? They're 1-1 coming home Friday night for a game. So that might be a good thing there, Pat.
Yeah, keep the Twinkies away from George and Yang, huh?
Well, I don't think we
According
need
to Bob.
I don't think we need any more seats there in the minivan because it looks like he's
Relax.
packing on a couple more. All right, when we get back, Jamie Lynch is going to join us here on the John Kincade Show. Always a fun time. We'll see what he has to say. And coming up later, Devon Givens is going to call in, give us his 3-pointers about last night. Not a great night, but let's try to make it a great morning.
And the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
You know, I said the other day that when the Sixers won, that the food tastes better and the coffee stays hot longer and everything's good. I got to tell you, maybe it's because they lost last night, but I think our bounce back songs have been horrible.
I'm sorry.
You don't like this?
Kenny Loggins?
Dude, you don't like Kenny Loggins?
It doesn't sound as good today as it would after a win.
Shut the hell up.
Wow.
Loggins is a beast.
You don't disrespect Kenny Loggins, not on this station.
It's unbelievable.
You want to disrespect Kenny Loggins? Go down the hall. All right?
Yeah,
You don't do it here.
Not only that, but that's also a Top Gun ricochet shot.
Yeah,
Are you
I
kidding
know.
me?
We're Kenny Loggins people on this show.
Yeah, you don't go at Loggins' throat like that, Bob.
You come at Loggins, you come at all of us.
Yeah.
Honestly, no, seriously, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to come at Kenny Loggins? Go listen to a 4-hour Bruce concert, bud. Okay? It's quality over quantity with
Good try. Teethkeepers.com, Pat. Dominion National offers
mind.
dental and vision plans for everyone, starting at under $8 a month at teethkeepersave.com. Enroll today at teethkeepersave.com. All right, I apologize. Maybe it's because of the happenings of last night that the song didn't sound as good to me today as it usually does.
when you come at Kenny Loggins.
I don't like when Jamie joins the studio and just comes in and starts throwing barbs at me.
Oh, my sizzly tasted fine this morning.
Did it?
Yeah, I just told Pat I came in complaining about the Phillies.
All right, behind the scenes
This
here.
was hilarious.
So Jamie walks in and he's like, "Yo," and which is common when we see each other early in the morning. So I said, "What'd you think of that game last night?" And the response we get is, "Dude, you can't put a middle infielder at third base because he just can't do it. Alec Bohm would have made that catch with his eyes closed." And Pat goes, "He asked about the game and you went to the Phillies?"
I emotionally moved on pretty quick from that Sixers game.
Sure did.
It's just hilarious that you got that animated over a game in May.
Well, because I'm
Over a
pissed.
playoff game where they got hammered by 30.
I was oddly pissed off more at the Phillies outcome yesterday than I was the Sixers.
I'm kind of with you.
Do you do carryover?
What do you mean?
So I'm sitting exactly where you are yesterday when the Phillies lost on the Grand Slam. My immediate thought was, oh shoot, it's going to carry over into tonight.
Yeah, I do that, but it's like the same stupid part of my brain that says when the Phillies put up 22 runs in a game, save some for tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's just irrational thoughts you have as a sports fan.
I guess.
I know what you mean, though, James.
But I feel that way.
Because yesterday, and I said it earlier in the show, I'd rather have what the Sixers did to me than what the Phillies did. String me along and death by 1,000 cuts until all of a sudden you just get
And it's Aaron Nola, one of your aces, versus some guy that's never pitched in the majors before.
Dude can't pitch with a lead.
I am starting to get to a point where I don't even want to say it with him.
His velocity's down too, which
I'm sick of the
concerning.
every other year with him. If you look at basically his career, it's every other year he's good. And unfortunately, this is the year where he's slated to be bad.
Could be worse, boys. They could have given him $200 million this offseason. They could have come out and done this.
That's exactly why I said he won't be back.
Very good point. Very good point.
But yeah, with the Sixers, you kind of knew early. You know, they made I thought a valiant effort there at the end of the first half to try and do a game one end of the first half comeback. And then Niang had that awful turnover that just killed all momentum. And Boston got it back to like 10 or 11 real quick.
Yeah.
And I just went, not their night. And I can spin it both ways. I can spin it positively and I can spin it negatively. So we'll see. I think it's a good thing that Joel got that under his belt. There's a lot of emotions that comes with an MVP returning hurt. You know, he's fidgeting around with his knee brace. He's clearly uncomfortable, but I thought he gave good effort. I didn't think
he only fell twice as I counted last night.
He didn't wear the injury. So I think it's
not so much, yeah.
I think it's good to kind of get that out of the way, and you come home now, and now all of a sudden Game 3 is the most important Sixers basketball game in 22 years.
I'll tell you, I'm very interested to see the reports from today regarding how he responds.
I don't think he's going to complain. I think he's reached the point of his career.
No, I meant more of like
where he's not going to blame anything. Like
does
he's
he
just
practice? How does he look out
I
there?
thought you meant like excuses.
No. It's something that Bob's brought up a lot of. It's not necessarily the first day. It's the day after.
Yeah.
Of the swelling and whatnot. And like I will be refreshing Twitter quite a bit today. Looking for an update.
The 6 o'clock hour was brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White is here for the pro. Jamie, you bring up a good point going into Game 3. Pat, you say it's the most important game in 22 years of Sixers basketball?
I said that.
I wouldn't go that far.
What's been more important?
Game 7 versus the Hawks.
Game 7 versus, was it 6 or 7 where they lost on the triple doink?
7, Toronto.
But with the Hawks, it was a monumental letdown. Like you kind of expected to win that being at home. With this game, I don't know what to think, and I almost think I think Game 3 decides the series. I don't know what to expect.
All right, well then we'll go with
because I thought
we'll go with Game 7 versus Toronto. Then
I 100% thought the Hawks game.
Oh, they
were going to win.
We did a show that morning, and we were a couple of dads peacocking around with our New Balances, talking about this is it. They're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and I just don't know what to expect on Friday.
Does last night's performance leave you with more emotion than Monday night's performance?
No. My high was higher than the lows of last night.
Right. I think so, too. And that's a great answer, and that's kind of what I was thinking also. I think you got more out of Monday night. I think Boston lost more out of Monday night than they gained out of last night's win.
Yeah, last night was just one of those games.
Yeah.
One of those games.
Somebody said,
and every team in the NBA has that kind of performance of you just get blown out. You get blown out, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you just chalk it up to, hey, it was a bad night.
And I like that, to that point, that Doc just waved the white flag at the end of the third.
I sat there and was like, there's no reason not to be playing.
And he just went, this is.
And then I looked up, and everybody was checking in.
Jaden Springer, when I heard him check in, I was like, dear Lord.
Yeah, I was like,
we're at that point.
Did Furkan get any run?
Oh, yeah, he got 4 minutes.
Well, good for Furkan.
Shot of 3, missed.
Let me ask you, at what point did you guys turn the game off?
I didn't.
How much time?
I suffered through it.
You're an idiot.
I
say that with love, by the way.
I wanted to be there for the Jaden Springer game.
I went to the Food Network late in the third quarter. I'll be honest.
I was 10 minutes left.
What was going on in the Food Network?
Nothing good that I changed out of that.
And caramelizing?
No, it
diners,
was
drive-ins, and dives.
It was guys grocery games, I believe.
I'll take Guy Fieri over Derek White any day.
Guy Fieri's a good dude.
He could probably get buckets.
Everybody that talks that has interacted with him, he is apparently a phenomenal guy.
There was stuff on social media yesterday where he went to a Special Olympics near his home and brought like 700 meals and served them and helped out with the Olympic stuff.
He donates a lot of time and whatnot to charity. He was on Hard Knocks because he's a big Raiders fan.
Yeah, he's a huge sports fan.
And they had their training camp up in like where he lives in like Northern California.
Yeah.
And I think he catered the one day.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. I like him.
Yeah, he seems like
he might be a guy I'd like to play around the golf with or go out to dinner with.
He was a guy that like got a lot of hate for a while, and then people kind of came around to him of like, nah, he's a national treasure.
Yeah, well, you come out with the look that he has and stuff like that, and but yeah, he does pretty well for himself.
Wait, am I the only one that watched to the bitter end?
I cut out with like 50 seconds left.
Okay, that counts.
You're the only sports guy.
I would say. Maybe 3 minutes of the fourth.
Let me just say, I DVR'd the game, so
yes.
You haven't watched it yet. You don't know what happened.
When I turned it off, it was 11:45.
Yeah, you're more justified.
I would have finished it. I would have sat there and just and honestly, it would have been because I wanted to see a guy like Jaden Springer. I'm like how you were with Davion Taylor last season. Like this is a big year for Dave. I'm like that with Jaden Springer. I have this obsession over seeing him develop and maybe become a B-ball Paul for next year, a guy that you can kind of throw into the rotation. So I would have stayed just to see him over, a Furkan Korkmaz or a Dwayne Dedman or somebody who I know they are, Shake Milton. But 11:45 at night, I was like, I think this one's over.
Yeah, it certainly was. Staples Stores provide innovative products and service for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store. So, James, I come out of every game wanting to get something out of it. I hate walking off a floor or watching a team walk off the floor and you just say, they got nothing out of that last night. Did the Sixers get anything out of last night's game? Did you take anything away from last night's game? There's tons of negatives, but anything positive that you take away out of last night's game going into tomorrow?
The rim protection's back. I thought he looked absolutely excellent. And if it's not for Joel Embiid, you're probably down, 25 at halftime as opposed to what you were. So that was positive. He looked a little better to me than I expected. Conditioning wise, seemed pretty good. That's a positive.
There you go. That's it.
That's all I got.
All right, major concerns. Let's go individually first.
Harden's game changes dramatically when Joel Embiid's in the game.
2 for 14 last night from the floor.
Yeah, some of that were just like that 1-3 ball went around the rim like 2.5 times.
Oh no, Tobias Harris had another one that was like all the way down and popped out.
Yeah, they couldn't throw the ball in the ocean last night.
No.
But Harden has a more difficult time scoring when there's a big man on the court.
I thought at times, too, their possessions took way too long to get going.
I thought Reggie Miller put it perfectly. They're running in mud tonight. And they had no, I was disappointed in Maxey. I'm looking like, go, 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 here we go. And he's walking the ball up the floor. He's jogging up the floor. Their intensity last night blew.
It seems like their offense doesn't really start to get going until there's 7 or 8 seconds left on a shot clock.
It wasn't like
And
that
at
the
times,
other night much.
And last night, that was the case. Boston would kind of batten down the hatches, and then all of a sudden, it's like, I don't know what to do with the ball. Here, you take it. And then they're chucking up a bad shot because it's 1 second left on the shot clock. You're right. There was no urgency last night.
Jamie, I know you'll know the answer to this question. Who's the sideline reporter for TNT, the blonde-haired girl?
Allie LaForce.
Allie LaForce. What are you shaking your head about?
Nah, you didn't have to go to Jamie. I also know Allie LaForce. I'm a big fan.
Okay, he's closer to me than you, so
You're
my
all
first
LaForce
look.
up.
But
I am.
may LaForce be with you.
That's
You like that?
Topical.
No, yeah, that was bad. But at one point last night on her sideline report, she said, yeah, Doc Rivers just took his team aside and says, can you please try to pass the ball? Like, why aren't we passing to each other?
5 assists on 17 field goals
at that time, right?
In the first half, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, it's
Both
not.
aren't good. 5 assists and 17 buckets. Both not good.
How do you show up to a playoff game and not show up?
Well,
I mean, that was the case. They didn't show up last night.
My gut tells me they thought they were going to ride the Embiid wave of him returning, of stealing game one. You got that in your back pocket, so you're not, I don't know, your back's not on against the wall as much, and you go, well, we got the MVP returning, so we'll be good. And you just kind of go into it with a unsharp mental focus, thinking Embiid's going to carry you, and clearly wasn't the case.
I agree. I think there's something to be said for that. Like hey, no one believes in us.
We've already got one.
We got a chip on our shoulder. Let's go out there in game one and let's prove to these guys that we can do it.
Yeah, there was no fight last night.
And then it's kind of like your backs are against the wall because you don't have the MVP. No one believes in you in game one, and that goes both ways. It goes, for the chip on the shoulder for the Sixers, but I'm sure Boston walked into that game in game one going like, all right, let's blow them out. Let's basically do to them in game one what they ended up doing in game two, getting Jaden Springer out there. And then in game two, you've got a situation of the MVP comes back and it's like, we're good.
All right,
you get a little too comfortable is what I'm trying to get at.
Right. Let me ask you this.
Get there, though.
If you're an outsider looking in, you see game one where Boston shoots the hell out of the ball, where Boston plays really well offensively, where the Sixers don't have the MVP, and they still come out with a win. So you had that in game one, and then last night a complete blowout and a non-performance by the Sixers. Which game is more of an anomaly to you guys? James, I'll start with you.
Last night.
Wow.
Last night. I don't think either of these teams are 30-point better than the other.
Yeah,
I hear you on that one.
Like James Harden putting up 45 points isn't an anomaly to me. I've seen it happen in the NBA many times.
Yeah.
I don't.
All right, just to counteract.
I don't see the
Recently?
Sixers.
Have you seen him do it with the Sixers?
No, because he is Joel Embiid, and that's not his role anymore. I don't see the Sixers lose by 33 hardly ever.
I could say 45 from Harden's an anomaly.
You can, but
without Joel Embiid, I don't think it is. The
how many-
Embiid factor in game one is what made the 45 happen.
I know what you're saying, but I would look at it like combining James Harden with B-Ball Paul in game one. So B-Ball Paul had what, 12? 10 or 12. So let's say 12, 57 points.
12 and 15.
I've seen Joel Embiid and James Harden combine for more than 57 points. And I say that because in game one, James Harden had to go out there and be the guy. And in Jamie's point, he hasn't had to do that with the Sixers because we already have a guy. But he's been a facilitator to make sure that the guy, Joel Embiid, gets his, while also, trickling in 2025. So I think when you combine the two, it's a better look at it than saying, well, I haven't seen James Harden do it with the Sixers. That's an anomaly. If you combine James Harden and who's ever playing center and combine those points, I think that's a better way to look at it.
Wow, that's pretty good thinking by you.
I'll see myself out.
Yeah.
And Joe Mazzulla made the adjustment last night, and it's something you're going to have to game plan for game three, and that's Jaylen Brown guarding James Harden majority of the time.
I mean, he picked him up when he walked into the arena.
He picked him up at half court in the first quarter all night.
Right.
And it led to a bunch of turnovers from Harden. I thought Harden was on track if he could get the turnovers in check for a pretty good game. He was boarding. I thought
fouls.
I thought the shots were going to drop. They ended up not dropping for him or anybody. But they got to adjust to Jaylen Brown on James Harden.
Jason Tatum goes 1 for 7 with 7 points, is in early foul trouble, and they still beat you by 34.
I know.
I mean, we talk about Harden's anomaly game. Is that an anomaly game? Are you going to be able to do that? I don't think Boston's at its best when that happens.
PJ Tucker's a pretty good defender. I think he had a hand in keeping Tatum in check and forcing tough shots. Jaylen Brown had his game. I mean, he's a really good player too.
This just in, they're good players in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Tatum's going to get his.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen again.
It's funny. I came in here this morning, James, 6 o'clock. We start the show, and I said, okay, yeah, they lost the game. You got to move on. Da, 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 da. Now I'm getting more aggravated as the show goes on. Not aggravated, but I'm wondering more. Are we being too light on the Sixers for that performance last night?
It was pathetic.
But we just got to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game 3's tomorrow night.
If you're the Celtics, do you walk out of that game saying we figured out how to beat the Sixers?
I'm leaning a
by
hell
20?
of a lot more towards that than I was at any other time, yeah.
You're happier, but you're not coming out of that game saying, okay, we figured out exactly what we need to do to beat this team every time. We shot the lights out. We made defensive adjustments. We played a better game, but they're going to give us a punch back in game 3. I don't think they're feeling that they've figured a bunch of stuff out that the Sixers can't react to and come back from.
I guess. I mean, it's so much about feelings and everything I was thinking of last night getting ready for today's show. Didn't want to be, the Debbie Downer or anything like that. We all know how pissed off we are and how disappointing we are about last night. But if the roles were reversed, if the Sixers were the higher seed and hosted both games and lost the first game in the fashion that Boston did and won last night's game in the fashion that Boston did, are the feelings different?
Yeah.
And how?
I think we would sit there and say they woke up. They woke up. They took it easy in game 1. They got lackadaisical because Boston's best player is out, and it was an anomaly and a blip on the radar. But I look at the feelings that you might be having, getting more and more aggravated, and if anybody out there is just kind of doom and gloom and a little pissed off, reminds me a little bit of how Jonathan Gannon had a really good season, and I think had the best defense I've ever seen in my lifetime, and if not the best for other people out there, probably top 3, right? But the last thing you remember is walk-in touchdowns. And for the Sixers, you're getting aggravated because the last thing we remember, the last taste in our mouth, which was 12 hours ago, was them getting blown out by 30. So I think you need to look at it look, it's not doom and I can't come in here doom and gloomish and pissed off.
Good.
Because they ended up doing what they were supposed to do. They went up to Boston. They came back 1-1. I can't be Debbie Downer coming into a game 3 tied.
And the hope
You're
is
not down 0-2, which was a fear.
Right.
And the reality was when we all found out that Joel Embiid wasn't playing game 1, that thought crept into all of our heads. Is it going to be a situation if they come back to Philly 0-2? They didn't. So I can't find myself being mad because the last is them getting hammered by 30 points.
Yeah, the hope is that the players don't feel
Yes.
that also.
That's the hope.
Yeah, the trigger, and I
Because
don't
losing
think,
by 33 in the playoffs, it's a tough pill to swallow.
but I don't think with this leadership core that will be the case. Like, I don't think a PJ Tucker who's been there before and a James Harden who's been there before will allow that.
And a Doc Rivers that's been there many, many times before.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to include him just because he's been there before and he's not adjusted
Yeah.
at times, so I wasn't going to bring him into it. But yeah, I mean, he's been there before, so I just chalk it up to a really, really, really bad game.
A lot to unfold here about last night's 30-plus point loss by the Sixers. Series tied 1-1. Game 3 tomorrow night at the Wells Fargo Center. We're even going to have a pregame show down there tomorrow night. Me and Devon at 6 o'clock. Yeah, we're going to take you right into Sixers basketball. We're going to have Ricky Batalico joining us later on today. We got game time today. So much going on. Mike and Frank, hold on. We'll get to you as soon as we get back from the break. This is the John Kincade Show here at 90.
Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
John Kincade Show here at 97.5 The Fanatic. Bob Cooney, Pat Egan, Connor Thomas, Coach Camille, and the man, the myth, the legend, the biggest head I've ever seen, Jamie Lynch, joining us in studio today. It's always a better day when you're here.
It's for my big brain. That's where I keep it, Bob.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
You got
up
one
there.
of those faces that just makes people smile.
Well, thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Making me blush.
you really do. And the other day we were in at the golf outing. Where the hell were we? Yeah, and you went in and you were looking at a. No, I didn't mean that. I thought it was another time. I didn't mean where the hell were we? Penn Oaks was awesome. But we went into the gift shop and Jamie's like, do you have any? I think it was last week, wasn't it? You said, do you have any such and such type of hats?
That was at the cricket club, yeah.
Yeah, and the guy's like, huh?
Do you have any hats in 9 3/4?
Well, Jamie's like, you see the size of my nugget? I need these type of hats. They fit perfectly. And the guy's like, we don't have them. And then he was just looking at his head like, oh, my God, that is the biggest head I've ever seen.
Yeah, the Imperial XL hats. Every time I see one, I buy one.
Yeah, you do.
They
you
fit
have
my
to.
head like a dream.
So what golf course
Like
are you
a
rocking
dream.
today?
This is Columbia in D.C., where I played last week.
What a nerd.
My buddy bought it for me, so I didn't even have to go out of pocket.
Oh, that's
for this
nice
one.
of him.
Yeah.
That's nice.
He's got friends.
I thought about our state of play conversation yesterday, and I thought, well, Jamie didn't have to worry about that last week because there was 8 people on the golf course.
9.
Because you're 9.
One guy went out solo.
Because you're golfing in a monsoon.
Yeah. And I'm golfing tomorrow at an outing. So
Oh, well, good for you.
It's been a good
I'll
little
tell you,
run.
the life you have.
Yeah.
Although I can't say anything because I have an outing.
Yeah, I was gonna say Camp Catholic's outings.
I got an outing and then I have an outing the week after that. I
Michael
think I go 4 straight weeks with a golf outing.
That's not bad.
I don't
Yeah.
have any golf outings coming up. I am free.
And Connor's like, "Oh, Donna's going to be so mad." And I said, "No, she loves that I'm going out and networking and talking to people and
And your kids are
stuff
full
like
grown.
that.
You're fine.
Yeah, I got nothing going on there. So, you know, they
No
don't.
diapers to change at the Cooney
They
house.
don't want me around at all anyway.
Except Bob's.
That's
Got him.
It's not.
Diaper boy.
No, guys, you know he's sensitive about that. Stop. He had one accident. You know he's sensitive. Like, why would you bring that up on air?
And it wasn't
I'm
an
sorry.
accident.
Not,
I did it on purpose.
not everything's for on air. We can leave stuff
right.
off.
Yeah.
It
I'm
depends.
sorry about that.
Well,
Will you-
Yeah. All right, guess what we're doing tomorrow? We have our
open
first
house.
Friday
Coming to work.
show tomorrow.
I'm
Driven
just
by,
thinking about barbecue, man.
driven by David Auto. You got to love it. Come on out. We really want you guys to come on in. If you want to be a part of our live studio audience, all you have to do is go to 975thefanatic.com and secure yourself a spot with a guest. Deke's Barbecue is bringing breakfast. I cannot wait. And listen to this, who's coming in. How about Charlie Manuel? Keith Pompey to let us know what's going on with the Sixers. Mark Zumoff giving us his analysis, Pat, about the Sixers. And actor, comedian Harlan Williams. They're all scheduled to appear. Plus,
You skipped a name.
no, I didn't. Who?
Jamie Lynch.
Yeah, courtesy of Bet Parks.
You're in tomorrow again?
I am. You almost get a full week of me.
Get out of here. This is awesome.
It's like the old days.
Wow, this is great.
I love it.
If only someone would say we should do that every day. I don't know. But there's even bigger news, James, than you being there. Someone in attendance tomorrow is going to walk away with Sixers tickets for Game 3 tomorrow night.
Me, when I steal them out of Coach's pocket.
You can't do it. Also, Steven Singer's going to be there.
I
with
hate
a lot
Steven
of,
Singer.
Yeah, a lot of people do. But he's going to have stuff for Mother's Day, which is coming up. So maybe
I
you
gotta
get some of that.
I got to get myself in order there.
Yeah, you better. Put it in now
Yeah.
and
Sneaking
get ready
up.
for it. So seriously, if you're a listener, if you have nothing to do tomorrow, or maybe just go into work a little bit late because we only work till 10 o'clock in the morning, sign up on 97.5thefanatic.com. You and a guest can come see us in studio. Would love to see you. Would love to put a face to the names that we see. So try to come on out with that. All right, a lot of Sixers bad talk. We know about it. But in the linchpin, Jamie's going to bring us some bad Phillies talk.
This is the
all
linchpin.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to do this bi-weekly, but you need a first baseman. You can't keep doing this. Edmundo Sosa's already got 5 errors on the year as a non-full-time player. He's not a third baseman. He's a hell of a middle infielder. You can't keep doing this. It cost you a game that would have stopped the bleeding yesterday. You know, like to blow a 5-0 lead is bad. But Alvarado came in, did his job, should have gotten out of it. Edmundo, I mean, it went right through his glove. Like, that's a routine major league play.
He was upset.
He should have been. He cost his team the game.
All right. Well, do you need a first baseman or a third baseman?
Alec Boehm's your third baseman.
I think they're in a good spot where they can look around the market for both.
I suppose. I mean, if that's...
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, like
but,
if you're kind of strapped there and a third baseman's available for cheap on an expiring deal or something.
And I agree with you. Like, I think first base is the avenue that they should explore. I laid it out probably a month ago when the injury happened. You're not competing for a lot of teams at first base. A lot of teams that are contending and buying already had their first baseman set, so you're not really going to be in a bidding war with a lot of. It's like looking for a quarterback on the trade market. You know, the contending teams already have one. They're not going to need one. So you're
I mean, look, it's going to be June.
Third base is different.
It's going to be June before we know it. You can already kiss the division goodbye. So you're already in second wild card. I mean, they're not catching
30 games in?
They're not catching the Braves.
They might. Not with that attitude.
The Mets lost a doubleheader yesterday, Jamie. The Braves could do that too.
Stop lying to me. We all know they're not winning the division.
Jeez, Debbie Downer.
I can't.
And you're having him back in tomorrow, Coach? What the hell is wrong with you?
I can't say that on
You're already chasing the Mets and the Padres in the second wild card, and the Mets are getting Verlander and Scherzer back this
You're
week.
looking too much into standings.
Do I think it's going to happen? No.
Okay.
But
can it?
There's like a 2% chance.
2%?
2%?
This
That's
isn't
your
milk.
What Phillies
This
team
isn't
are you
milk.
guys watching?
You're nuts.
A team that tries.
What the hell is
They're
in
doing
that
their
big head of
best.
yours?
No, I mean,
Aaron Nola concerned. Zach Wheeler concerned.
All right, well, look at it the other way, right? So you said, like, what Phillies team you guys watching? I'm watching a team that just got the MVP back.
He's good at baseball.
I'm looking at a team that's good to get Ranger Suarez back.
Yes, he's
reinforcements. Reinforcements are coming back.
They're coming, James.
Yeah, and Schwarber will get hot, and Turner will get hot.
Yeah.
Well, then what the hell are you talking
So why
about?
are you so doom and
There's
gloom?
a lot of good
matter
teams
with
in
you?
baseball. They need a first baseman. They can't keep doing this.
Well, yeah, they do, and I think they'll find one eventually.
Eventually is the key word there that I don't like.
Yeah, but no team. That's the problem. Is now with the wild card.
You can make it happen. If you want it and think it's a big enough
guess.
need, you can make it happen.
Do you want to overpay for it though?
Yes.
If you can. Like, I don't look at.
I do want to overpay for it. That's my point.
I don't look at what the Phillies have done as so far as a negative at all. I actually look at what they've done as kind of a positive. They treaded water until Bryce Harper got back.
Yeah, they've treaded water.
Yeah, but that's what we expect them to do with Bryce Harper out.
All right,
really.
I'm going to lean on Jamie's side a little bit here. With that lineup, as potent as it is, even without Bryce Harper.
And you're getting positive.
I think treading water is a little too...
At the beginning of the season, with Bryce Harper out, Ranger Suarez out, if I were to tell you that they would be...
below 500 in the beginning of May?
2 games below 500? Whatever, I think we would sign up for that. I think we would.
I don't know.
I think we'd all sign up for that.
Maybe.
Especially if I curtail it by saying Ranger Suarez or that Bryce Harper will be back May 2nd, and Ranger Suarez will be back probably a week later.
I'm looking forward to talking
we'd all
to
sign
Ricky
up for
about
that.
it.
I am too
We'll have to ask him this.
because you brought up the lineup, and the lineup hasn't been the issue.
No, the pitching.
No, you're right. It has not.
And
Mainly the big guys who were the problem.
And look, Wheeler and Nola went deep into a season last year. A World Series run taxes arms, as we know. And you see Aaron Nola hitting 91, 92 pretty consistently now throughout the year. It's like,
yeah, it was funny. I walked into one of our back rooms yesterday after Ray Dunn was in there watching the Phillies game. And I'd missed like the second inning, I guess it was, bottom second. And I said, what's going on here? He goes, Nola was only hitting like 90 in the first inning. He goes, it looks like he's picking up here now, but... And then the Phillies go and score 5 runs, and Ray's like, well, maybe it doesn't matter. But it did.
He might be the worst pitcher I've ever seen with a 5-run lead. It is insane.
Ray actually looked up his splits, and his ERA is more than 1 run more when he has leads between 3 and 5 runs.
It's insane.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
It's the same crap with Aaron Nola of walk, single, 3-run home run. Every time. Like, the dude just cannot avoid the big home run.
And it's like a 2-2 count where it's like a bloop single and it just like breaks him.
He drives me nuts.
But he passed Grover Alexander yesterday. Now he's on Kurt Schilling's heels for
Grover Cleve.
A 5th all-time in franchise history in K's.
Very good interview, Grover.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Very thoughtful.
Yeah. Insightful.
And I asked him,
I wonder
What's
how
it
he
like
felt
being
about,
named after
about
a
the
grouch.
president.
Yeah. What? Yeah, he was sick and tired of it. He said he had a better year than him.
Okay.
Oh, no, that was Babe Ruth. Well, one of them. One of those guys I
think he
interviewed
sold-
said that.
I think he sold washers in the offseason.
What the hell are you guys?
I think I read that one time. He sold washers.
We're trying to teach you something, Connor. Life didn't begin in 1990 when you were born.
Anyway,
There's a
94.
lot of things that went on before then, and we're trying to make you a learned man.
Yeah,
I
you
appreciate
don't know
it.
nothing
So
about
you need
Grover
to
Cleveland.
listen.
I'm certainly listening.
It gets aggravating.
Go get a
after
first
while. I agree with Pat, though. In Bohm, you have a regular infielder. Whether you can get a better first or third baseman, I don't think it matters. Because I'll put Bohm at either place.
I think the price is going to be cheaper for a first baseman, but the versatility that you now have is something that you can maybe use to your advantage.
I just don't think Sosa's a third baseman.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think he's a middle infield depth, nice piece. A
think
Tomas Perez.
We're leaning a little too much on Edmundo these days.
Yeah, we're a little too Edmundo'd up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I think that tone just said it all, Connor.
It's not trade time yet, though. It's just not.
Yeah, but
Trades don't
Listen,
happen
James.
now.
You
You-
did this at
you-
the trade deadline last year, where you wanted Dombrowski to go get somebody early, and he waited and waited and waited, and the whole time you're like, "Go get somebody, go get somebody." You ended up with a pitcher who helped you in big spots get
I'm
to
not
the
saying.
World Series.
Look, you're probably going to need something else by the trade deadline because Craig Kimbrell stinks.
No, I know. I'm not saying wait till trade deadline. I'm saying
Sometimes you go get a guy.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
last year you were beating this drum too, and they waited, and they ended up with a 24-year-old center fielder who's great defensively, as one of the best hitters in
Yeah, and
baseball.
Logan
this year.
O'Hoppe looks like he's one of the best young catchers in baseball
Yeah,
before he
he's
got
injured.
hurt.
He's injured.
Yeah, he tore his labrum, throwing
Yeah.
somebody out with his cannon.
And Dombrowski knew that was going to happen, so he traded.
I'm
his
just saying,
ass.
look, when the Braves had injuries early before the trade deadline 2 years ago, they went out and got Jock Peterson and
Got
somebody
three
else
guys, yeah.
3 days later.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't wait.
They can wait.
I don't know the
I
answer.
don't. Why? So we can chase a second wild card again?
Because they're 6.5 games back, and they're only 2 games below 500, and it's May 2nd or 3rd or 4th.
fourth.
May the 4th be
It's
with
May
you.
the 4th, you idiot.
It's World Series expectation year. What are you waiting for?
Jamie's not patient, Connor. If you haven't learned anything about Jamie, he's not patient.
Why should I be? I know baseball's a long year, but sorry, the expectation is not second wild card
To
here.
Connor's point, you should be patient because we've seen them be patient before, and
I don't care about
Have
overpaying
success.
right now. This is an
but
all
you're also
in,
the same guy that goes, well, they've never had a farm system, so you don't care about overpaying. But if they give up a prospect,
You're not
because
going to
they
touch
overpaid,
a top 3
then
or
you're
4
going to complain
prospect.
about it.
No,
They can't win with you. They can't win.
this is
He's
this
putting
is
your mind in a pretzel right
You
now,
want your
Pat
cake,
is.
you want
Aaron
your
Nola's-
pretzel, you want your IPA, and you want to eat it and drink it too.
Aaron Nola's probably gone pretty soon. Zach Wheeler has what, 2 years left? Like your window is not huge.
Like you're sitting here complaining about Logan O'Hoppe.
No, I like
You
Marsh.
traded O'Hoppe.
Just go get a first baseman.
You'll sit there. Next week, it's going to be, well, they don't have a farm system.
It's almost June.
It's. I mean, in the grand scheme of things,
Next
yes.
month.
Yes.
I mean, relative
Next
to
month
the
is
year.
Relative
gonna
to
be
the entire
June.
year, it is basically June.
It's almost October if you look at it.
I'm just that's what I'm saying.
BQ Basements and Concrete. If your basement or crawl space smells musty, I say.
I hate a musty smelling basement.
I hate a musty smell altogether. Or has watermarks on the block walls, you need to get completely free home inspection from the experts. Call BQ Basements and Concrete because the problem will only get worse. There's nothing worse in a house than water.
Yeah. You know what I also hate? People telling me to be patient about upgrading my team.
Oh, jeez.
I got to say, I can't say I'm not with Jamie on this.
Yeah, of course. Well, you're not a baseball guy. You're a basketball guy. Why don't you stay in your lane?
That hasn't seen Eddie. Yeah. Sorry to turn on you. You had my back.
Seriously?
That's what you get.
Jesus. You know what?
No, let's get back to your original point. You agreed with me.
No, forget you now. I'm going to go to Frank in South Philly. He wants to talk some Sixers. Frank, you on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Oh, man, he just cooked your
Hey,
ass.
how are you guys?
Hey,
today?
Frank, what's going on, buddy?
No, and just wanted to make 2 quick points about the Sixers game. My first point is, the Sixers just look like, they were just going through the motions last night. They just looked like they didn't have it. And seeing Malcolm Brogdon again, I mean, God, man.
He's a killer.
He's a killer. He could be a starter on half these teams in the league if really wanted to be. And he put up, I'm pretty sure, over 20 points in both games. That's one guy you got to try to key on. I know it sounds crazy, but I would definitely key on him. And my second point is I watched the whole game until 2 minutes left because I actually kept my 3-year-old son up because he was like, "Oh, Dad, can I watch the game?" And I was like, "Sure."
That's cool.
And then he goes to me with 2 minutes left. "Dad, are the Sixers winning?" And I go, "No, bud, they're not winning tonight." And he just puts his head down. And then right then and there, I was like pissed off, teared up a little bit, and shut the game off for 2 minutes.
So, Frank, real quick, going into Friday, are you more positive or more down like you and your son were last night after that loss?
I looked at it as like I was down for my son's aspect because, he's a kid. He wants to see, his team, team win. But on the positive side is we did steal one, so I'm pretty happy about that. So,
all right, Frank. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Appreciate the call. I came away, and I'm being honest, I started switching channels midway through the third, late in the third. Didn't pay attention all that much in the fourth, but I did come away with, okay, overall view, 1-1. That's kind of how you have to look at it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, ultimately, last night sucked, and that's why I just, take the game film out back, pee on it, burn it, and bury it in the backyard. And
well, wait,
PVC
do you burn it first and then pee on it?
You burn it first, and then you pee on it, and then you bury it in the pipe.
He said he's going to pee on it and then burn it.
It's not going to light if it's wet.
We're not here to kink shame
with you.
I just throw that one out. But it's now a 5-game series, and you have home court advantage. So Game 3 is everything. My emotional well-being tomorrow night is going to be hanging by dental floss.
I ask you this. I ask all of you this. Is the winner of Game 3 the winner of the series?
Yes.
And I don't want just a yes or no answer. Give me
Expand.
Yeah, because we still have 2.5 hours. And I'm not used to sitting here. So, go ahead, Connor. What do you got to say?
Yeah, it absolutely is. Jamie's right. It's a 5-game series. You got home court advantage now by taking one of the games in Boston. You can't immediately, the first game back home, give that back to a team that good. You have to win Game 3, and you have to use the momentum from the MVP trophy presentation that we're all expecting on Friday night to take this one.
Yeah, you just
Jamie? Go ahead.
You just can't. You can't squander this coming back home. Joel got the rust off or whatever that was. I think there's emotional baggage that comes with him returning to the whole locker room, and people maybe counting on him for too much. So now coming back home, getting the MVP, you're right. The Wells Fargo Center is going to be absolutely rocking. You gotta express dominance, and I think this is mentally the biggest game in a long, long time for the Sixers. Because if they lose this one, I'm worried about the fold.
Yeah, Pat?
I'm going to go with no.
No,
I'm going to go with
winner.
no.
Game 3 is not the winner of the series.
I'm going to go with no. Yeah, I don't think so. That I don't think I can sit here and say matter of factly. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm looking it up right now. The Raptors series, back in 2019. Okay, so they lost the first game in Toronto. They won the next two, and the next two it was on the road, so they came back to Philly split, and then they won Game 3. They didn't win that series. Won 7 games. They lost. So I can't sit here and act like, yes, that 100%.
This Celtics team is better than that Raptors team, I think.
That Raptors team won the championship.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Well, the Celtics are going to win the championship if they beat the Sixers.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I would say that Raptors team was deeper.
I'd have to go look at the roster again. I mean, Kawhi Leonard's one of the all-time great playoff performers.
Am I going to feel good if the Sixers drop Game 3? No, I'm probably going to be sitting there going, "Damn, like this is bad." I would put their odds of winning the series at probably less than 20%. But can I 100% definitively say, yeah, the winner of Game 3 is going to win the whole series? No, because we've seen them before in this situation, and it doesn't always work out like that.
Here's an interesting stat that Tim Bontemps put out last night from ESPN. Last night was the 15th consecutive time that a home team wins Game 2 of a series after losing Game 1.
Damn.
Nobody goes up 2-0 on the road.
No,
in the
I
NBA.
expected the Celtics to win. It's just the matter in which they won, which is, I think, has people a little shook this morning.
I get a text from my boy Joey Merton.
What do you say, Joey?
Joey.
Now, I want your reaction to this because he's a pretty level-headed dude. He uses the word always, so I'll take that out. The offense is in the mud when Embiid plays. They stand around too much. It can't happen, but you got to just move on to Game 3. Game 4 is more pivotal than Game 3. All right, let's do the offense in the mud with Embiid. It's an aggravation that a lot of people feel. I was getting texts last night from our boy Vince Pellegrini saying, see, look at this offense with Embiid. It's mopey offense. It's an offense that was one of the best in the NBA all year.
Yeah, they were
and
top
Joel
5.
Embiid, is the leading scorer of an offense that was really good.
And they're the number one three-point shooting team in the league, in large part because of Joel Embiid making so many people open. So it's his first game back. I can't put it all on his return and gumming up the offense. No, the Celtics were going to come out with their backs against the wall. They were in a corner and they were going to fight their way out. Like you just said, there's a reason 15 times in a row that home team has won that game. I can't put it all on Embiid like that. He was a really big reason why they were one of the best offenses in the league and one of the best teams in the NBA since mid-December.
You look at mud. You look at an offense last night, Pat, that is stagnant. Is your first point going to Joel Embiid?
I would think a lot of it probably would center around Joel.
Well, that's the other player's fault, in my opinion.
Nobody can make a shot.
I don't disagree with you.
Like, what do you do? Why is everybody just standing around?
Well, why do you think? You've got a guy coming back that is super important to this team. He's wearing a huge knee brace, and you're like, he's playing through something. Do you think part of it was, hey, we got to really slow this down to make sure we can work Joel back into the offense?
No, I would think the opposite. I'd work him in when I can, but I'm still running the motion offense and everybody on their toes and running and going
I don't
more
think they
than
think
ever.
that way. Think about how James Harden has treated Joel Embiid winning the MVP. These guys built their season around this guy. I think their focus is let's do what helps Joel the most because he's our meal ticket, and I think last night that hurt them.
I'll tell you what.
After game 1, I wouldn't have played it like that. I think
You make real quick. You make a good point there, Connor.
I felt like last night they treated Joel Embiid as 100% healthy Joel Embiid. Instead, they should have treated him like third, fourth option. A guy that you get integrated into the offense, but he's not.
He should have been primarily a rim protector, rebounder.
He's not this like we're going to force the ball
to do.
He kind of should have been what Tobias Harris was for them all season long.
I didn't feel like they really were forcing it to him last night. I do feel like he was kind of secondary in the offense.
So here's where it got weird.
It was just really slow.
I think how it got really muckety early on. Boston went to a 3-2 zone. What do the Sixers want to play with Joel Embiid is a high pick and roll. You can't do a high pick and roll against a 3-2 zone.
Yeah.
Because even if you try to pick the middle guy, now you have a guy on a wing that's standing right there ready for you. So that wasn't working. Then I thought they got kind of confused. What do we do here?
Well, then that's on Doc. You got to move Joel down low.
Exactly what I texted Vince Pellegrini. Move him down low.
And have him
get
pick
Tobias
up high
Harris
behind
at
the top
foul line.
three.
Exactly.
Find
And
the
look to go
three-point
that way.
shooters
And
do that.
it could have gone there. I didn't
guys know
see any
ball.
adjustment there. Yeah.
That's great work by you two.
Thank you. I appreciate you very much.
Great minds.
Yeah, look at that mind. How could that not be great?
Yeah.
Don't let anyone tell you, Jamie, that you don't know ball. Bob still got to watch Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, just watch Eddie one time.
I mean, will it pick my spirits up in a down day? Like, say, if I'm in the doldrums about basketball?
I mean, I don't know how Whoopi Goldberg going from the stands to the sidelines wouldn't.
Why are you giving me the story of the show when I haven't seen it?
It's in the damn trailer.
I haven't seen the trailer either. I'm just going to go right to the movie.
You're not a basketball guy.
By the way, Gabe Bassine DM'd me, and he said that stat you just gave about 15 times, game 2, bet the house on the Warriors tonight then.
Yeah, that would make it 16 in a row.
That line's 6 on Bet Parks right now.
How about this?
You got the juice for a little Warriors -6 in you there, Bobby? Think that makes sense?
-6 at home.
It's the same situation.
Yeah, because you know what? AD's got to go out with an injury tonight.
He had
hasn't
30
been
and
hurt for
23 the other night.
He hasn't been hurt in like 4 games.
Yeah, that's
so
a good
tonight's the time he's going to miss some. If I ask you guys this about seeding in the NBA, see if you know the answer. What's unique about the seeding in the NBA with the remaining teams right now?
It's the first time since 1954 that a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 seed have advanced to the second round.
When you need knowledge, you look no further than Jamie Lynch.
You're welcome.
Isn't that wild? I didn't realize that. I saw it
didn't
on
even
Twitter.
hear it. I said it so fast.
Pat's.
You know how else you could hear that kind of stuff? The Daily Odds Pod presented by Bet Parks, Bob.
Does he even need us here?
Nope.
The guy's a one-man show. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's basically because of the Heat, and right there, the 8th seed and the 7th seed was the Lakers.
And there's a 6th, and there's a 5th, and a 4th, and 3rd.
Yeah, but the top part
why
is the
I brought
7
it up,
and 8
James.
seed.
Oh my God,
That's incredible.
Yeah, isn't it? It's kind of bizarre.
Pretty cool.
Pretty wild.
It is. It's
Pretty
kind of
cool.
wild.
I think
yeah.
the NBA playoffs have been awesome. In
So
general.
do I. I like watching that Knicks Heat series.
That's a good series.
It really is, and obviously we're looking
Butler's
at it
got to be
through
back
the Sixers.
tonight, right?
Huh?
Or tomorrow. Butler's got to be back tomorrow. Right?
I would assume, but those ankle sprains, man, that's
Yeah.
not good. But he doesn't play that real fast. He is such a methodical basketball player, more so than any star I think that I've ever seen. That he just lets the game come to him, and he kind of takes it easy. So maybe he'll be able to get around with that ankle.
Do you think the rims in Philadelphia will be a little more unkind to the Celtics? Do you buy that theory?
No,
A rim is a
don't.
rim.
Yeah, I mean,
But they're not going to shoot that hot again, right?
I wouldn't think. But look, that's 2 games in a row.
I know. The third quarter, they didn't miss.
I mean, that's 2 games in a row. That's a real concern for the Sixers now. And Kyle texted me at halftime last night. He says, "Can I ask you a question, Dad?" I was like, "Yeah, what?" He goes, "Why did they go to the matchup zone 2 possessions and it worked and never went back to it again?" I don't know if it's a case that they're not used to it with Joel Embiid, but they started it in the Brooklyn series.
No,
and it worked
he's
well.
played zone this year at times.
I didn't get that either. Doc Rivers, as much as we praised him after game 1,
I thought he had a really good game 1.
yeah,
Last
great
night-
game 1. Last night, maybe it got away from them quicker than we could tell.
Last night, I think the best thing he did was bench people in the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not kidding.
I mean, when
I
he,
agree.
I was kind of like, all right, good, throwing the white flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's over.
100% agree.
yeah.
Because then you can kind of sell it to your starters, like, all right, guys, we gave up. We're moving on. Game 3. Let's focus.
Yeah,
Let's
well,
go.
we're going to move on after this break. We're going to talk a little bit more Sixers. We got some Eagles talk that Pat wants to bring up. Whole bunch going on. We got game time at 8:30. Ricky Batalico at 9. All that and more here on the John Kincade.
back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
All right, you guys got what you wanted.
We didn't want it. It ruined the show.
Coach has no feel. Like, he says every second counts, but
And then he plays.
God, his seconds suck pretty much every day.
Nice job, Brett Brown.
Way to go, Coach. Good job by you.
Uh-huh.
You have nothing to say for yourself? Come on.
No. Everything's good.
Actually, no. Calling you Brett Brown, that's too far. Nice job, Eddie Jordan.
Wow.
Nice job.
He went Eddie Jordan.
He's right there.
Coach, no response to his Eddie Jordan call?
No, everything's great today.
Coach, you got to learn to fight back, man. Come on, don't take it. Go back and pat.
Why, bother fighting and having a battle of the wits with somebody who's unarmed?
Oh.
Wow.
I have two arms. I don't understand the reference.
That was weak. That was weaker than his joke, actually.
I don't understand his
May
reference.
the fourth be with you guys.
Forever Young Anti-Aging Clinic in Center City. Can't shed the weight? Semaglutide, James.
Sound it out.
Semaglutide has been FDA approved for weight loss, and Forever Young patients are getting tremendous results. I don't think anybody in here needs to lose weight. I think we're all fine and dandy.
Bobby,
All right,
body
but-
positivity now.
Yeah.
That's right. I am positive today. I just got a text from my friend Renee. She said, everybody should listen to you, Bobby. Keep being positive, like the little engine that could. And I said, yeah, that's what Donna says to me all the time. And she came back and said, oh, God, you're an idiot. But what can you do here? We got Devon Givens coming up at 8:20. He's going to give us his three-pointers about what happened last night, and maybe even more than just the three-pointers.
Don't play like that ever again. Point number one.
That is probably point number one. I got to say, the thing that disappointed me most last night about the Sixers. Now, we brought up the Warriors-Lakers. We turn on every NBA playoff game and watch as much as we can.
What time
of
does
all
that
of
start
them.
tonight?
Probably 10. Well, you got the Knicks Heat, too, so that's going to be early.
I know.
He's such a downer when it comes to staying up a little bit.
Well, I really want to watch Lakers-Warriors.
Then stay up. Be a man.
I'm not
to tell
about
you.
that life.
Be a man. Stay up late.
But when you watch
You
those
don't have
games,
a bedtime.
when you watch other
Yes,
NBA
I
playoff
do.
games, I don't often see teams that don't show up. I mean,
That's
teams
part
that
of
lose
why
games.
I say it's an anomaly last night.
But
I don't think they're gonna
Does it
get
happen
blown
too
out.
often with the Sixers?
No.
Does it happen too often that you get the real, not just a bad game, a really bad game? Especially in a playoff, you just don't see it from great teams. And we're looking to label this team as a great one. So you can lean towards anomaly, but you can also lean towards a lot of frustration. Jamie, you're choosing anomaly.
Yeah, I mean, since Tyrese Maxey came back from his injury, they were the best team in the NBA. Game one was a hell of a performance, minus the MVP of the league. I think this is a really good basketball team that had an absolute stinker last night. I think they expected Joel Embiid to carry them for some unknown reason. I don't know why you would have that mentality, but they didn't have that fight in them last night. And
That's concerning to me.
I hear you. I mean, it's not concerning, but I do think it's something that they can throw out and just move on from. And that's why I like Doc Rivers throwing the white flag in early last night. Yeah. It's just like, boys, this is over.
Yeah, there's no point of
You're pathetic.
pretending that we can get back.
Yeah,
in this
like
game.
I don't need to say anything to you about this. You better know what needs to improve. The people in South Philadelphia are going to be up for you on Friday night. You better be up for them, or you're going to get booed out of your own building because people are on edge. And I get it. But I do think that's one you just throw out last night. And I don't think what you got in game 2 necessarily means you're going to get that effort in game 3, 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah, 88 games in, I guess you can have those games that you just throw out and move on.
You have to.
It's going to happen. Well, I mean,
Well, that was kind of my
34-point
point.
losses.
You rarely, if ever, see that in the NBA playoffs, that teams that are in contention
You're
lose
right.
a 34-point game.
But we all sit here and say the winner of this series is likely, we would assume, the favorite and going to win the NBA championship. So if the Sixers go ahead and win this series, we're going to sit here and go, yeah. But, I mean, in game 2, they got blown out. And real champions don't do that. No. Like, it's a bad game.
Okay.
You burn the tape, you move on. It's no big deal. I'm not going to look at the previous history of like, well, the good teams, they don't hammer. I'm sure if we look back There's probably a champion or two.
No, there
That
isn't.
got there
Nuh-uh.
is. You don't know Eddie, dude.
I look.
mean, like, stop. Like,
Stat
you know
nerd.
basketball.
I'm a stat nerd.
Give
No,
me
it
the
never
stat.
happens
Give me
before.
all the numbers.
15 in a row, teams have won game 2 at home when they lost game 1. How do you like that stat?
You just told us that last.
You know
segment.
who's about that? I am.
Now, we talk about teams in contention. Would you call the Warriors a team in contention out west?
Absolutely.
They lost to the Kings 118-99 in the first round.
Yeah, that's not 34 points.
It's not, but I mean, it's
Okay, but
Come on.
was it 34 points because of the fact that Doc waved the white flag pretty early?
Yes.
Yes.
I do think they
If
make
you
it
would've-
closer
yeah,
if the
if you
starters.
would've-
Look,
you
I
would've
was
the
blowing
starters
this
in.
game off from minute 1 of this show today. I was blowing this game
Doesn't
off.
seem like it.
But you guys are all doing it, so I feel like I got to come the other way now. And Jamie was pissing on it.
I don't want you to
Jamie
come the other
was
way.
pissing on a tape before he lit it on fire. He's ass backwards. I can't trust him.
It was pathetic last night, but I don't think you're going to get that in Game 3.
Hope not. You can't get it in
You're
game
at home.
3.
You don't want to get booed in your own building in the playoffs.
No, you probably didn't want to get booted
I
last
would-
night either.
I agree with you on that. I don't think you do either. I don't think you want to get booed in your own building.
Thanks,
That's the
Pat.
kind of analysis you get on this show.
And only this show. Bill on the cell. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's happening?
Not too much. Last night, there was no way they were winning that game regardless. So the silver lining that I saw initially is that Joel was able to come back. He moved fairly half decent, had 5 blocks. So he shook off a little bit of rust. And listening to your conversation earlier, it doesn't matter who wins Game 3. It does. And the Sixers' bottom line is if they win Game 3 but lose Game 4, it doesn't matter. So they really have to win both games at home. There's no doubt about it for them really to have a chance because Boston, I hate Boston, always hate Boston, are good. Don't match up great outside shooters.
Are they going to take these next 2 games, Bill? Are you confident in that after last night?
Well, that's the double-edged sword. So you roll out Joel last night and you get blown out. So now Boston almost even has more confidence because Tatum only had 7 points and you won by 34. So they're feeling great about themselves. I don't know. I'm about 50-50 shot for winning both games.
Ooh.
Doesn't look great. Doesn't look great.
Bill, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Doesn't look great.
Do you guys agree with that they need to win both? Because I don't.
No, I don't.
I'm kind of leaning towards there. Yeah. I mean, Boston absolutely dominated you last night. They showed they can dominate you. Can the Sixers dominate this Celtics team?
Yeah, if they have an off night shooting like the Sixers did, sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the Celtics have been hot these first 2 games. I don't think that keeps up to that same level. And the Sixers were ice cold last night, so I don't think that keeps up either. It's gonna balance out. I mean, what did they shoot as a team last night? It was like 36% from the floor. It was like 30% from 3. It was just one of the.
So the Sixers went 50, 40, 90. You know, that's the magic number. 50% from the floor, 40 from 3, 90 from the foul line. They were better in all those things in game 1. I mean, we've been talking anomalies. Can they do that again? Is that what they have to do to beat this Celtics team? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think it needs to be that extreme to beat them. Like, they are human.
Yeah. We're making the Celtics out to be like this insurmountable mountain that it's tough to climb because in the first game you had to come back, and in the second game you got crushed. But we all kind of expected, I think, before the series for the series to go 6 or 7.
I mean, I thought the Celtics were going to win last night.
Right?
Yeah.
we all did. We all picked the Celtics.
did. I didn't.
It's just the context in which it happened.
And it wasn't a good context.
No, it wasn't.
Hey, it's 8 o'clock, 97.5 The Fanatics, $1,000 gift card giveaway. Your chance.
97.5 The Fanatics.
Every time.
$1,000
Every single day.
giveaway.
No,
Do you need Adderall? What is going on with you?
I'm trying to get you pumped up.
When the lights are brightest, Bobby Cooney cracks.
Hey, it's your chance to win a $1,000 gift card to anywhere you want. The keyword this time is event. Like I just had a bad event happen there where I overtalked my stay.
The Sixers had a bad event last night.
Bad event, yeah. There are 3 ways to play. Enter the keyword on the Fanatic app at 975thefanatic.com or text it to 45911. That's 45911. 888-203-1111. Once again, the keyword is event. 97.5 The Fanatic's $1,000 gift card giveaway. Presented by American Standard HVAC Contractors. To find a dealer, visit AmericanStandardAir.com. One person selected at random will win. Get complete rules for this company-wide contest at 97.5thefanatic.com. Good luck. I apologize, Connor.
Don't apologize to me.
All right, who should I apologize to?
I don't know. The listeners, the world in general.
Makes
3
you
days in a row, Bobby?
Makes
3
you
days in a
appreciate
row.
John.
I'm not. It does, doesn't it?
One's a professional. One's, I don't know what you are.
Wow. That's not.
You brought it on
nice.
yourself, dude. You brought it on
Yeah,
yourself.
3 days in a row is pretty rough.
One day is
Bobby.
fine. I mean, like this is a team getting in an 0-3 hole. There's no positives to be taken out of it, Bob. You can sit here and apologize and all that, but it's inexcusable.
You're making me feel very inferior here.
Well, once again look in the mirror.
Okay.
I didn't do this to you.
I'll have to do that.
You did this to yourself.
I was just looking at the box score from last night. There wasn't a single Sixer in the positive.
Is that right?
Well, there wasn't a lot of positives.
Even when you get blown out, typically like one guy's like a +4.
Nothing.
There wasn't anybody.
No, Korkmaz didn't hit the plus column?
He was -2.
Oh, jeez.
It happens.
Mike from Delran thinks we might be giving the Sixers a little bit of a pass. Mike, what's going on? You're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yeah, what's going on?
How you doing, buddy? You don't sound very good today.
I'm pissed off.
You sound it.
Like, to just kind of games happen, I can't do that, man. Like, it's game 2 of the second round, which you have to get past forever, right? Your MVP comes back last night. The whole game seemed like it slowed down for everybody else. And when you lose that game by 8 or 10 points, yeah, I get it. I didn't expect them to win the game last night either. But to get blown out by 35 points and not having any starters playing the fourth quarter, like, I hope they're embarrassed with themselves. If I'm at that game Friday night, I might start booing when they announce the lineups. That was disgusting. You had a chance to put your foot on their throat and not have to go back to Boston, right? After that first game, everybody was so excited. I can't sit here and hope and believe that first game was the anomaly. Last night was trash. I hope they're all sick to their stomachs about it, and they better come out and they need to win both games at home. They've got to.
You're not confident at all going back to Boston, Mike?
Nope, no way. If they have a chance to win in 6 in Boston, we're done. Because you're right. You just said it. They dominated us last night, and I don't know that we can dominate them like that. So they need to get their ass together. I almost cursed with another word, but they need to get their stuff together, and they need to play way better on Friday.
So,
that was unacceptable.
But your premise is you can't believe the pass the Sixers are getting, but you also, if you want to go on that, you're going to win this series 4-0. You can't believe that they were going to go up 2-0 in Boston.
Like I said, I didn't expect them to win the game last night, but I expected it to be a little bit closer when the MVP, who just got announced that he's been chasing for 2 years and whining about it, he finally got it, and they just stunk last night. I'm sorry. The team stunk last night. It's unacceptable.
Don't be sorry. You're exactly right. All right, Mike, thank you so much, buddy. All right, Mike brings up the point. Are we giving them too much of a pass? Are we blowing it off too easy? Are we saying,
we'll find out
1-1?
We'll find out the answer to that tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Because if they come out and they win game 3 and they look much better, much improved, we're going to be sitting here going, yeah, it was one game. It was a blip on their radar.
I know it's a really
If
good
they
basketball
go out there
team.
and drop game 3, we're going to be sitting here going, yeah, this is an issue, and it wasn't fixed. I mean, there is credence in what he's talking about. In game 1, they fell behind pretty early. They were able to keep in it and eventually go on a run and win the game, but it took a while for them to kind of take the lead in that game. They had to. They didn't really assert any dominance or assert their will on this Boston Celtics. They kind of caught them by surprise. I feel like with that run, they got hammered. So there is something to be said for what Mike's talking about.
You don't have to dominate them. Like, you don't have to beat the Celtics by 30. You just have to find a way to have more by the end of the game. I mean, going back to that point about like blowing teams out and teams getting blown out. The Bucks, the year that they won the title, and shout out to Jim Rice on Twitter for this one, they lost 39 to the Brooklyn Nets to go down 2-0 in that series. Like, this happens to teams that end up winning it all. Sometimes you just don't have it on a night. It's not like a death knell for the Sixers. They're going to be okay.
Yeah,
Good point.
Are we talking ourselves into it, or do we really believe it?
No, historically,
I think that's something that we're going to talk about over the next couple of days.
I think we're talking ourselves into it because
It's
the
true.
alternative is, yeah, it's true. The alternative is what? We're sitting here doom and gloom. It's a must win.
We're not about that.
Friday
Not this
and-
morning show.
I mean, we're sitting here. Some people want to act like the team's down 3-0, 3-1. They're coming back to Philadelphia 1-1. That's exactly what everybody wanted at the start of it. But because of the way that last night's game went and how badly they played and how they got hammered, we're acting like they're 3-0, 3-1 whole. Like, it's not the case.
I mean,
No.
if they lose by 6 last night and cover the spread,
Yeah.
do we really feel better?
No.
And
I'm actually
Embiid
more
had to
pissed
play
off.
35 minutes, and then you're worried about
Yeah,
all of
I'm-
that. It could be.
I'm arguably more pissed off if
Well,
they
wait
did
a
that.
second. Let's look at it this. Could it be worse?
Yeah, for
Could
sure.
last night have been worse?
Yeah, you lose a close one on a buzzer beater would probably be worse to me.
Yeah,
Do you
then
think
Embiid's
so?
knee
That's-
swells
that's-
up.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I almost just wiped the dry erase board clean.
I am
and-
100% with Jamie. on
like
this.
I didn't want to lose a close one.
A nail-biting heartbreaker that you
Yeah,
have Joel
like a
Embiid out
dagger
there for
by
38,
Tatum.
So you'd
39
rather have no
minutes.
chance to win than a chance to win.
Well, when you say it
After
like
last
that, it
night.
sounds
When you
ridiculous.
say it like that, yeah, it does.
Well, I mean, if they come out of a 1-point loss last night on a buzzer beater, I say, damn, they're playing really good against the Celtics team 2 games in Boston.
Yeah, I mean, you make a fair point.
You
I don't know.
make a
But like,
logical point.
part of me thinks that getting blown out, I don't want to use the word beneficial because now I sound like a lunatic, but it's just like it's easier to move on from.
yes.
Okay.
Because of the fact you're able to say, it is one game, we can turn the page.
All right, I totally get that.
Whereas
I'd love to
6-point
hear.
losses happen all the time in the NBA, and they're, I feel like, tougher to
And
stomach.
if Jason Tatum goes off for 39 again, like that kind of got forgotten about game one. That he was right there on Harden's heels. He had 39 and he was tremendous. And then you held him in check last night, and they do that. You go, all right, that's everything about this game was weird.
Yeah, Jamie makes a great point. Like, if you're talking to a girl at a bar and you offer to buy her a drink and immediately she just turns away from you, you're like, whatever. But if you're
No,
talking to
you
a girl-
wouldn't do that.
but
You'd
if-
consistently.
Let me get to my point here
All right, go
before you
ahead.
make fun of me. But if you're talking to a girl all night and you're buying her drinks and you're hitting it off and there's chemistry, and
Yeah.
then last call comes
You're
and she's
invested.
like, okay, I'll never see you again. It's like, damn.
yeah. When
I
you
cared
spend
a-
2 hours and she drops the, oh, my boyfriend loves that band.
Yeah, like, what?
You're like, wait, well,
Where is he? I'll find him.
I'm $45 deep into this. Like, I've bought you 3 drinks and we got apps on the way. What's
Last
going on
night,
here?
that girl just turned away from you when you offered to buy her a drink. You move on.
Yeah, well, I mean, the specialty cocktails, the appetiser's $12. You got to.
It's not 9 o'clock yet, is what you're
Exactly.
saying.
It's not half
Rob
off apps.
Puglisi?
Yeah.
I probably butchered that.
We call them pugs.
Oh, what do you
Yeah.
say, Pugs? He said, Bob, remind the Doomsayers what happened in 82 in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Celtics beat the Sixers by 40,
Remind
121 to 81 in Game 1, and by 29, 114-85 in Game 5.
Remind me what
Sixers
happened.
won in 7, winning Game 7 in Boston Garden.
And then the Sixers lost in the finals.
The only difference there is that's many consider one of the greatest constructed NBA rosters of all time.
Yeah, it was
But
pretty good.
besides that, it's it's possible.
Some people are
All
saying that this is one of the best constructed rosters of all time. Some people.
I don't think they are. Hey, when someone gets hurt, we know who to call. But what about a
Ghostbusters.
mental
I
health
thought the same.
crisis?
I was almost going to say it, dude.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers free confidential support around the clock. Don't hesitate. Call 988. Now, don't you guys feel like
Yeah, I
idiots?
do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, as well
Yeah,
you
we don't
should.
feel great.
No, so just from now on, when I'm making a public service announcement, you need to keep your mouth
Yeah,
shut.
well, when I hear who
Yeah.
you're going to call, that's where my mind goes.
I think a lot of people immediately go, you got to call Ghostbusters.
Okay, so I got a couple of things last night, and I wanted a couple of texts last night that said the exact same thing. This is why Embiid shouldn't have played tonight.
No.
I responded the exact same way.
One, his condition, like you're not going to be where you were 2 weeks prior. So you kind of got to get used to the knee. I think it's a step in a positive direction for him. That he looked pretty much as good as he did. His conditioning didn't seem that off. You got the emotional, whatever baggage that comes with his return out of the way. You can kind of put that behind you and move on. So I think conditioning, getting used to the knee brace, and having the emotion, in that locker room out of the way now. All right, good. Let's go.
I could believe it a little bit, that argument, and I'm talking a very little bit, if today we find out that there's swelling and he's doubtful for Game 3 and all that. But I side with Jamie. Like, you need to get him out there just for conditioning purposes, just to kind of get back to the speed of an NBA
And a
game.
knee brace. Those
Like-
things suck.
Apparently, he played 5-on-5 in practice.
I don't know.
Nobody heard about it until he was good to go, which I find
yeah.
very shady. It was all these reporters are there and no one points out, yeah, he practiced today, he played 5-on-5, and the Shams report comes out. Oh, yeah, by the way, he practiced. Oh, okay. Maybe. I don't know.
Again, the way the Sixers handle injuries is just one of the weirdest things ever.
If I'm being honest, to put truth serum, I don't think he practiced beforehand, so that's up for debate, and he had to get him out there.
So he gives you 26 minutes last night. Catch you 15 points, 4 for 9 from the floor. His touch didn't seem to be all that bad. He had a turnaround jumper early. One time,
50%.
Yeah, one time he got the ball at the nail, and it was what I was talking about last night. I just wanted a straight up and down game from him. Defend the rim, straight up and down. You don't need spin dribbles. You don't need anything more than catching and shooting. And last night he got the ball at 15, and I was yelling. I'm like, just shoot it. Just shoot it. Just shoot it. And he did, and made like a 15-footer. I didn't want him to complicate things too much last night. The outcome of the game allowed him not to do so. And as you said, Pat, allowed him to get some of that rust, shaken off. And now I think, should be ready to go pretty much full speed tomorrow night.
I'd rather have him knock the rust off in Boston when you're up 1-0 on the series than knock the rust off in Philly. Because I think emotions are going to be so high for Friday night's game. He's getting presented with the thing that he's been, let's be real, campaigning for 3 seasons now. And something that he thought he was never going to win. He's getting that. The team is excited for him. You saw the video. The fan base is going to be going nuts. Because, by the time that this game happens on Friday, we're all going to be going, oh, Sixers win. So, because of all of that, I'd rather have the rust knocked off last night than have to worry about rust being knocked off tomorrow night.
I think I agree with that.
If you got tomorrow night's game with Joel Embiid, we're going, oh, that's a letdown. That's a buzzkill.
And today will be interesting. I'm sure they're just looking at tape today. I think Doc is available this afternoon later. So I don't know if he'll have an answer as to where Embiid's knee is today. We talked about the swelling, all of those things, how important today is. So we'll see how that all plays out. A quick thing. Coach, did you put this up or Haley, the 5-minute poll?
I did.
Okay. So Coach put up a poll. When we return on Monday morning for this show, where will this series be? Celtics up 3-1, Sixers up 3-1, or series tied 2-2? Where do you think the poll went, and what do you think it will be, James? I'll start with you.
I think it'll be 2-2. I think the poll says 3-1 Celtics because we're an emotional bunch.
Wow. All right, Pat?
I agree.
Same? Did you see it, Connor, or no?
I didn't. I think it'll be 2-2, and I think the poll says it'll be 2-2.
Connor is absolutely right. 58% say 2-2. Sixers up 3-1, 27%. Only 13% say Celtics up 3-1.
Look at the optimism.
It is pretty good. All right, when we get back to the John Kincade show, we're going to have Devon Givens. He's going to give us his 3-pointers on what happened. And we do have game time at 8:30, 610-632-0975.
Back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
It is the Kincade Show here at 97.5 The Fanatic. John's under the weather. Bob Cooney, Pat Egan, Connor Thomas, Coach Eric Camille, and the man, the myth, the legend, Jamie Lynch, in-house with you today. It's reaction day. Tough one last night. Blow it off or let it stick with you. However you want to look at it, that's what it's going to be. We got Devon Givens coming up now. 8:30 is game time, so 610-632-0975. But without any further ado, let's get to Devon and talk about last night's game. Devon, what'd you think, buddy? How's things going today?
Good morning. Tougher morning than it was, of course, for us on Tuesday following that.
Little bit, huh?
Bob,
little bit.
Bob, you did it again.
Dude, we have an open for it.
Oh, my God. Devon, I apologize.
This is the three-pointer with Devon Givens on 97.5 The Fanatic, home of 76ers basketball.
You think we're going to have Devon Givens on and not have an open for him?
Sorry, Devon.
It's a nice open. It's a nice open.
Yes, it
It's
is.
a respectful open is what it is.
You're playing like the Sixers last night, Bob.
You really are.
Let's just wash it away.
Let's throw the show out.
Take the show out.
Move on.
Pee on it and then light it on fire.
We're on
whatever
a
you gotta
Friday.
do.
We're on a Friday.
Yeah, I apologize, Devon. So, obviously, there's not going to be a lot of pleasant thoughts, I don't think, coming from you today, Devon. But what is your first thought about last night?
First thing I saw last night was right from the opening tip when Joel Embiid won that tap that they were going to defend James Harden face up, full court, and not give him an opportunity to have much space to do what he did on Monday, which is just torch them from the very start. Jaylen Brown picked him up basically, three-quarters court, and you knew that was going to be their game plan to hound him a little bit more than they did. They didn't double-team him a lot. They didn't put a lot of pressure on him. And you saw it last night that was going to be part of their game plan. Now, I can't say that fully as poorly as he did last night, but it's certainly a new wrinkle as the adjustment was there from Joe Mazzulla and their staff to have a good defender like Brown on him, eat up some of the clock while they put some of that pressure on him where it's not an easy walk up the court to set up the Sixers offense. And it disrupted the flow with that pressure, and that was a good move by them from the start.
Yeah, it was, and you could see the disruption right away. They were giving the ball to Maxey, or if Melton was in the game, giving it to him. And then Harden had to fight hard just to pick up the ball after they crossed half court. And like you said, Devon, great point. Now you're talking about 10 seconds left, 8 seconds maybe on the shot clock, and that's just too much time.
100%. Yep, that's exactly what it was, man. And you always, of course, with any team, you want to do that too. Not allow him to get too comfortable and get things going and get into that easy flow like they did on Monday. And as much as we get on Joe Mazzulla being outcoached by Doc Rivers, that was a nice wrinkle by whomever came up with that one for this game. It was an easy one, but it was a smart one.
Absolutely. All right, what's your second point you got about last night's game? Devastating loss.
Yeah, it was. And how things were going in the first half, you could see that, all right, I wanted them to get it 6 by halftime. And as we were sitting there and I was talking to Tom Alvord, he said, just get it to 8. And I'm like, nah, you need to get it 6.
It's so funny you said that. I said at my house, and I do it every time, I said 5 or under.
Yeah, and the reason why I wanted 6 and not 8 is because, of course, the Sixers went in the opening tap, and they get the ball. They were shooting pretty well, Boston was. So coming out, I'm just thinking the worst at that point of, they're going to get a basket. So I don't want them to get to double digits right away. And the reason why I pointed it out, that particular number at that time, was simply because Boston had a run. The Sixers could not sustain a run at all in the first half. Never had a run over, 5 points versus Boston where they would have a run where they would be, 9-2 or 10-4 or something like that, where the Sixers simply could not sustain a run. And keeping it to that single digit, going into that third quarter, I wanted the Sixers to have that run in the third quarter to cut that lead to maybe 1 or 2 points by the end of the third quarter. So when you're heading into the fourth, we have a ball game now. 12 minutes is all yours. Let's see what happens. They never sustained a run whatsoever, where Boston seemed like they just were on a run the entire first half and certainly in that third quarter where they hung up that plus 19 on the Sixers.
Yeah, Devon, it was their second worst quarter output performance in the entire season in that third quarter.
I just needed a run, Jay. You can have those types of quarters and overcome those if you're able to, again, have a run. And your run is 11-0 run.
Yeah, they had nothing.
Run. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And again, as I said, it may not be your points to their 0. If you're going to give me 13-4 run, 15-6 run, give me a run. And they couldn't do it last night.
Couldn't muster it up at all. All right, Devon, what's the last point you have concerning last night's blowout loss?
The big difference that was a big part of the win for the Sixers on Monday was the supporting cast, and they got a bunch from everybody else. Last night it was Boston. From White to Smart and to Grant Williams, all three of them in double figures, 15 each for White and Smart. You didn't get that on Monday, and then certainly with Grant Williams helping Malcolm Brogdon, who had 20 off the bench on Monday, but no one else really did anything outside of Robert Williams' 6 points. Last night, you got that 12 and 4 big three-pointers from Grant Williams. He had one later on when the game was really out of it. But him coming in, helping out not only to get underneath Joel Embiid and put some of that, body to not allow him to establish his game so easily. Those three players helping out, where you had Melton and Paul Reed helping out the Sixers. Although Paul Reed did start, he was still part of that bench group in general to help out with the normal Harris, Maxey, and Harden. This time, with Tatum playing so poorly and Jaylen Brown still shooting the lights out, you got some help from White, Smart, and Grant Williams, and that was a big difference from their role players in a game at home to help them pick up a W.
So, D, we've been talking about it all morning, and we have about a minute before we have to go to game time here. Is last night a game that you can just burn the tape, push it aside, say it happens, and move on? Or is there more of in your mind, a lasting effect going into game 3?
It's more of a burn the tape, but with some lasting effect of it's the playoffs, so let's look at it. Normally, in regular season, you talk about burning the tape. It's because you have about 10, 12 games remaining, and you're like, okay, let's just move on. No, look at the things that we're bad in there. Like we talked about, the defense, the pickup, full court or three-quarters court from Boston. Look at that. See how you can figure things out. That was the first game Joel Embiid was back. Look at it. See where we can make some adjustments in that one so we can be better on Friday. So this doesn't happen again. So it is more of a burn the tape, but we leave some little shrapnel in there, right? Some of the flames flying around burning because you want to look at some of the things that can be corrected for Friday.
How do they get Jaylen Brown off of James Harden a little bit?
Set those picks, and it doesn't just have to be Joel Embiid. Set those picks with Tobias Harris. Set those picks where you get Al Horford on him a little bit, of course, with Joel Embiid, but Tobias Harris come up and be a screen setter. Same thing with Tyrese Maxey, be a screen setter and get Jaylen Brown off of him and advance the basketball. It doesn't have to be him just bringing the ball up. Advance the basketball and give it to Tyrese Maxey more with 16 on the clock instead of with 10 on the clock.
All right, you and I will get after it again tomorrow night. We'll do our pregame show from the Wells Fargo Center, 6 to 7:30. So I will see you there, and hopefully we have some more fun things to talk about after that game tomorrow.
I hope so.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much, D. You are the man.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Devon Givens with his thoughts about last night. And now we drift very casually and smoothly, Ricky Batalico, into game time.
It's Thursday at 8:30, which means game time. Today we're playing The Price is Right, May the 4th Star Wars edition. Now here's your master of ceremonies, a man whose lightsaber is a little small, Pat Egan.
Wow. I don't really appreciate that, even though it's true. Let me just start off by saying that. But yes, it is the Price is Right Star Wars edition, because if you can't tell by the obnoxious open we had and Coach routinely saying it, it is May 4th. May the 4th be with you, Ricky. They can't hear you, buddy. You're not on microphone. 610-632-0975. The way this is going to work is I'm going to give just an item, Star Wars related, and we're going to go around the room. It's going to go to Bob. It's going to go to Connor. It's even going to go to Jamie Lynch. And the caller has to identify which of the participants is closest to the actual retail price.
All right.
Without going over.
We got this.
Once again, 610-632-0975. The prizes today include a pair of tickets to go see Bert Kreischer. Very funny comedian.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The machine.
Yes, a pair of tickets to go see Aerosmith with the Black Crowes, a pair of tickets to go see the Golden Gloves National Championship on May 8th, and 80 for Brady on Blu-ray. All right, let's kick it off with Mark in Ridley Park.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Good
Good.
morning, guys.
All right, Mark, listen up for the prices. Bob, I'll start off with you. The item up for discussion today, the Lego Star Wars, $1,351 piece Millennium Falcon with 7 characters, including Rey, including Chewbacca. Lando Calrissian, he
Rey was
shows
hot.
up. Excuse me. Lando Calrissian, he shows up, as well as Luke Skywalker, C-3PO, R2-D2, and Han Solo. Bob, the price, please.
I will go $59.99.
Ooh, I'm going to go $47.89.
I'm going to go $59.9.
I did $59.99.
Oh, you did? I thought you
ass.
said $39.99.
I said $59.
Well, I'll take $69.99.
All right, Mark, who was closer to the actual retail price?
I'm going to go with the bro, Jamie.
You know what? Yeah, the bro knows Legos. He does.
Nice. Way to go, Mark. Good
The
job,
actual
buddy.
retail price, $160.
What are those Legos made out of? Gold?
Well, I mean, 1,351 pieces with 7 characters, including Rey, Chewbacca, Lando Calrissian, Luke Skywalker,
we heard it
C-3PO, and
first
R2-D2, Han Solo.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
for that.
but
I didn't hear the last two people.
I think $160 is a steal.
That's why they call
It's
it.
a bargain.
And I'll tell you what, Mark just won, thanks to those 7 characters, a pair of tickets to go see Bert Kreischer.
Nice.
Way to go, Mark.
Off World Tour on Wednesday, November 29th, the Wells Fargo Center. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m.
I might
via
try and
Wells
steal a pair.
FargoCenterPhilly.com. Yeah, he's very funny. His movie's coming out soon, too.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Anthony in Mayfair up next.
Hey, Anthony.
The item up for discussion is a rechargeable 7 RGB color metal hilt dueling LED lightsaber for adults, by the way.
Ooh.
But also for kids. I mean, they can play with it too. We'll start out with Connor with this one. Connor, how much?
Wow, the light up lightsaber. I'm going to go $72.99.
Jamie.
$112.99.
Bob.
I'll go $69.69.
You're all over. Connor.
$38.99.
Jamie.
Oh, I thought this was quality stuff we were talking
You're
about.
not.
Let's go $29.99.
Okay.
I'll go $35.99.
You coward.
All right, Anthony. What is the who's closer there?
Jamie.
And you would be correct.
Wow.
Jamie
is
Lynch.
killing it.
Nailed
Well
it.
done, Anthony. Good job, buddy.
$34.99. Way to go, Bob.
Bobby.
Dummy.
What a
just missed
loser
it.
you are.
Over.
Good
You went
thing
a dollar
Anthony-
over? Yeah.
Yeah, good thing
Hey, am I
Anthony didn't go with
loser?
you.
'Cause you
You're a
lost.
loser because you went over.
Everybody else lost too besides Jamie. Why am I getting
Have you ever
chastised?
watched Price is Right?
No, I hate that show.
All right, Anthony, congratulations. You have won a pair of tickets to go see Black Crows on September 2nd at Wells Fargo. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. at WellsFargoCenterPhilly.com. Bob's over here just ruining the game. Let's go to Richard in Cherry Hill.
What?
Bob's
Hey,
being a
Richard.
real
How you doing,
right
buddy?
now.
Good morning. May the fourth be with you.
May the
Thank
fourth be
you.
with you also.
Thank you, Richard. The item that we will be discussing now, and we'll start out with Jamie, is obviously Ruby's adult Star Wars Supreme Edition faux leather Darth Vader costume. This includes a mask with This includes a mask with voice mode, faux leather cape, a chest piece. Gentlemen, you get a belt with it as well. And how about this? To kick it all off, put a bow on it, a red lightsaber, and shoes. Jamie, how much?
$79.99.
Okay.
I feel like that's low.
$109.99.
Oh, come on,
It's
Bob.
faux leather.
$180 even.
Coward.
All right. Richard, who's closer?
Take
Who said
Connor.
the 180? gonna go with the 180.
Yeah,
Connor.
no, 180. You guys,
That's right.
none of you guys.
Now,
were
Way
even
to go,
close.
Richard. Hold on one second, Richard.
$329.99.
You guys have no respect for the faux leather.
$550.
Would you shut up
You
and let
lost,
him talk?
dude. Shut your mic off.
$625.
Hang on. Buried in all this is Bob just hung up on Richard.
I didn't. I hit hold, didn't I?
It doesn't
No,
look
you
like
didn't.
it.
Richard, call back. My
I
fault.
remember my first game time. Way to go. The actual retail price is $1,041. Well, guys, they're giving you a red lightsaber and shoes.
Fair point.
This isn't
What are
just
the
some-
shoes? Balenciaga?
This is just
Richard,
some
sorry,
bozo.
call back, buddy.
This is
please.
movie quality
Yeah.
stuff.
I think this is what James Harden's going to dress like for game 3.
He should.
Richard, call back, bud, and keep calling if you don't get through, and we'll get you your prize, which is going to be, by the way, your prize is 80 for Brady on Blu-ray. Tomlin, Jane Fonda, looking fierce as ever. Rita Moreno and Sally Field star as 4 best friends with who go on an unforgettable journey to see their hero Tom Brady play in Super Bowl 51. Rated PG-13 from Paramount Pictures. Unfortunately, it doesn't cover Super Bowl 52.
You got a thing for Jane Fonda?
She looks good in this movie, Bobby. She looks good.
Yeah,
and we'll
all
move
right.
on.
No
We will
problem
move
with
on
Jane Fonda.
To John and Ben Salem. Let's not act like you're above Jane Fonda.
Hey, John.
Bobby.
How you doing, buddy?
What's up, guys?
All right, we'll kick it off with the ultimate Star Wars aficionado, Bob Cooney here. And the item that we will be discussing is Swimways Star Wars Death Star Double XL. That fits Bobby all right. Light up inflatable beach ball. How much are we talking for that bad boy, Bobby?
I'm gonna go. That's a nice item. I don't think it's too much. I'll go $39.99.
Okay, horrible guess. What do you got, Connor?
I'm going to go with $27.
I can just go $1 because I think
You
it's
can
less
go
than
$1.
Connor's.
How about John? John, who do you think's closer?
We're gonna go with Jamie.
Yeah, $1 is correct.
Way to go,
The
John. I'm
actual
gonna put
retail
you
price-
on hold.
Guys,
Yes.
it's a damn beach ball.
$9.99?
Like it was
11?
$19.99.
It's light up.
I almost said
Okay,
$19.99.
You just gave us a $50,000 faux leather outfit, and we're supposed to get a beach ball.
It was
right?
$1,000 for a
Whatever.
guy that should know stats. You don't. All right.
Wow.
The good news is John is still a winner because he correctly picked Jamie.
And he's on hold.
For John's troubles, he is going to win a pair of tickets for the Golden Gloves National Championship May 8th
Nice.
to the 13th at Harris Casino. Visit PAGoldenGloves.com for tickets sponsored by United Association and Sprinkler Fitters 669 and 692. Buster Douglas and Michael Spinks, by the way, they'll be on our show Monday morning. So
How
that'll be
about
pretty
that? Pretty cool.
cool. Let's go to Jim in North Wales up next.
Hey, Jim. How you doing, buddy?
Morning, guys.
Make you a winner.
$1,000 for
Jamie.
With the opposite sex. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you show up at the club with that bad boy, you're going home with a lot of women. Not just one,
right.
multiple. We'll move on. Connor, you're
Please.
kicking us off here. Star Wars Stormtrooper Premium Electronic Helmet for adults, by the way. Includes electronic voice
The helmet.
voice distortion. It's just a helmet. How much?
$145.
Okay, Jamie.
$105.99.
Bobby.
I'm going to go below, so I'm going to go $69.
Yeah, horrible guess. Jim.
Oh, my God. Get off my
I'm
back.
gonna go with Bob Cooney.
No, he said I was a horrible guest, so go with somebody else, buddy. Jim, I'm helping you out. Go with somebody else.
Connor.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. I mean, we gave you 2 cracks at it. I can't give. Say, all
Sorry,
right, go
buddy.
with somebody else.
Jim.
Jamie was the closest. It was $131.99.
Happened before you came here? You
Maybe.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Comic-Con's
I'm sorry,
coming
Yeah,
up.
we don't shame people who have,
You've been shaming me this whole damn segment.
interests
Well, you
outside
deserve
of
it.
sports and beer and sex. All right, let's go to Ben in Westchester to finish us off.
Wait, where am I going, Ben? All
Ben
right,
in
Ben,
Westchester.
how you
He'll be
doing,
the
buddy?
last one.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
All
All
right,
right, here we go. Let's get you a prize.
Jamie, you'll be the first one up, and the item that we are discussing for the last one is the Star Wars The Force Awakens. That's very important here. It's the Star Wars The Force Awakens remote control 9-inch BB-8 toy. This includes not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 AA batteries. How much?
I still don't. What is it again? A BBA?
BB-8. It's the little droid from the new one, the little circle guy that rolls around.
Okay.
Like, dude, and I'm working with these guys.
4 batteries too?
Batteries
Wow.
aren't cheap.
That's what I said.
Wow.
Can you just give me a damn price?
$39.99.
I'll go $51.27.
It's
Connor?
way over that, but I'm going to go $53.
That's a veteran move right there. All right, Ben, who's closer?
$53.
Yes, correct. Yes.
All
The
right,
Star
Ben, hold
Wars
on
The
here.
Force Awakens remote control
That'd be like
9-inch BB-8
140
toy with
bucks.
4 AA batteries costs you $179.
That's a ripoff.
Yeah, no,
the thing rolls around. It's pretty cool. His head stays still.
That's
Oh,
a
it's like
ripoff.
regulation size.
You know, it's not a ripoff, though. How about going to see
9
Bert
inches.
Kreischer, which Ben will be doing after winning game
Nice.
time.
Good job,
Tickets
Ben.
for Bert Kreischer, Tops Off World Tour on Wednesday, November 29th at the Wells Fargo Center. Those tickets go on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. via wellsfargocenterphilly.com. I think all we proved here is that Jamie really knows Star Wars and you two guys don't.
I don't like our host's attitude during that segment at
you
all.
should fight during the break.
With lightsabers.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, wait,
Yours
you
is
don't have one
small.
because you're a loser.
I
Yours
actually
is
read like
small.
Star Wars books. I was a little bit of a Star Wars nerd growing up.
Really?
Little bit.
I saw the first Star Wars.
I
and
could
that's
I
it.
could see you. I could see Princess Leia in a bikini helping you become a man.
Yeah. I mean,
Carrie Fisher was underratedly hot.
yeah. Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, never really did it for me, but okay.
No, I know, and I hear you. But if you look at pictures back then of her, you'd be like, "Oh wow."
No,
didn't
I've
realize
seen.
that.
I saw the movie.
You know who else I'd put in that category? The girlfriend from Animal House. What's her name?
What?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
What's her name? She's famous.
I don't know.
The one that
Jane
sees
Fonda.
Donald Sutherland's ass?
Yeah, her.
Jane Fonda.
No, it's not
Lily
Jane
Tomlin.
Fonda. No,
No, it's very
it's not
famous.
Rita
Rita
Moreno
Moreno.
either.
Is it Sally Field? Because they're an 80 for
I
Brady.
hate all of you. Karen Allen,
Yeah,
the mom in Sandlot.
Yeah.
Underratedly hot.
Yeah, I forgot she was the mom in Sandlot.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's
She's aight.
nuts.
Eh.
And the mom in A Christmas Story was topless in Slapshot.
Let's go to break.
Would you find that on Mr. Skin?
What the hell happened?
No, I
here?
watched both movies and went, hey, I recognize her.
John Kincade Show here at 97.5 The Fanatic, where we will not go topless, but we will have Ricky Batal go in with us coming up next. And
Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
John Kincade Show here, 97.5 The Fanatic. Fisticuffs in the studio is something that may be happening soon.
It's getting contentious.
It is.
A little bit.
You called somebody out. You said you want to go.
They don't want it.
Oh, they don't, huh?
They don't want the smoke.
All right. See, and look at all the work you're making Ricky go through over here.
I'm not making him do anything. I've been
Way to
sitting
go,
here for
Pat.
3 hours.
Way to go, Pat.
I've been sitting here for 2 days and 3 hours.
You have been. I'll give you that.
I've been here.
It's good to see the headphone situation's always a smooth one
always
here.
fixed,
Yeah. Ricky's currently sitting on the floor trying to get situated on, he found something. Oh, he doesn't have a thing.
No, it doesn't have a quarter zip, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're hardwired.
I might have one in my bag.
Aren't.
I'll find one. But before we get to all that, let's go to Scott in Philly. Scott, what's happening? You're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for making it.
Yeah, I've never been really motivated to call before. I love the show. I love the best show ever. Is like I love the title. I love the intro music.
You Metallica?
I try not to discriminate too much.
All right, good man.
But I do want to discriminate a little bit against the Sixers coach. I really not in a real personal sense, but I really think he should have been mad. I mean, it's not okay to get beat like that. You're in the freaking playoffs. They won because they were mad. We need intention. We need to be mad. It's not okay to be beat like that.
I don't know that he wasn't. I mean, we could read his language on the bench, right, Scott, that he was kind of just thrown onto the white flag.
It's kind of like, oh, we'll come back. I thought it was kind of nonchalant. There wasn't a real intensity about that.
I don't know that he didn't go into the locker room and totally lambaste him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
That can't be acceptable, and thanks for the call, Scott. That can't be acceptable what happened last night. As much as we're saying blow it off, I don't know if Doc Rivers is taking that same attitude. There's got to be something taken away that the Celtics have shot so well the first two games of the series.
Well, his reputation has maybe the most on the line. I mean, Harden and Embiid, it's a good debate. Who has the most emotional kind of leverage here hanging on their career?
Right.
Doc should be pissed.
Yeah, I absolutely look.
I have a feeling he probably was pissed.
Yeah, he can be emotionless on the bench because the cameras are there, all that stuff. You don't want to show up your team. I don't know that he was like that once they got in the locker room.
I hope he wasn't.
No.
I hope PJ Tucker wasn't.
No. Yeah. Ricky, we talked about, and we're welcoming Ricky Bowe from the greatest show ever joining us here at the 9 o'clock hour.
Or best.
Who's bringing you here? What did I say?
Greatest. Thank you, though.
That's the great. I upped it to greatest.
I appreciate it. I join you courtesy of our good friends at Paul B. Moyer & Sons. Go where the pros go for outdoor power equipment, from mowers and zero turns to hedgers and trimmers and everything you want. Shop Paul B. Moyer & Sons in Doylestown or Jamison, PA, or online at paulbmoyer.com.
Nice. All right, before we get to your Phillies, and we will get to your Phillies in a little bit.
We'll go wherever you want.
I have to ask you about being a professional player, going through what the Sixers went through last night. We all hear, most of the callers, all right, you blow it off, you got 1-1 series, blah, blah, blah. Can the players let it go that easy, Ricky?
Those are easier games to let go than a 1-point loss late.
Just what you said earlier,
Yeah, you
James.
lose a game late, and it's like a dagger to your heart. I think you
wake up thinking about that.
They knew it. They knew just after halftime that this game was over last night. That game sucked. The Sixers
they played in quicksand.
Yeah, I mean, and the Celtics were just lighting it up from three. I mean, they were going on these weird runs, bang, 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 and I don't even know what happened on the one play where. A ball, they hit a three. They ran back down the court. They're showing Brogdon running down the court. All of a sudden, the Celtics are going for a layup on the other end.
I saw that too. Like, did they miss something there? They missed the inbound steal?
Well, it was funny because you're watching Brogdon. He's going back on defense, and then he kind of perks up, like starts running the other way. I'm like, what happened? Yeah, I don't know. They're turning the ball over. That was a good old-fashioned ass-kicking.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it was. The Celtics were mad. Everybody knew they were mad coming into that game. And Embiid, he's not going to be 100%.
No.
So let's not pretend. Let's not pretend that he's going to go into a game at 100%. You could see him holding his knee at times during the game. That concerns me. Because
was he holding his knee or was he fixing his brace?
I would have said fixing his brace. I know I saw a couple times where you saw him just grab once and pick.
Right.
But like then he kind of went to the front and then he was kind of jogging down court holding the back of his knee, which would concern me a little bit.
Yeah. So as a player, would you rather be a Boston Celtic coming into Philadelphia 1-1, putting the ass kicking that you did last night, or would you rather be a Sixer and ultimately got your goal of splitting up in Boston, but coming off the ass kicking? Who would you rather be as a player?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to say I'd rather be the Sixers because you accomplished your feat already. You went up to Boston. You took 1 out of 2. And you're coming home, and you know you're going to get that extra lift from the crowd at home.
Yeah.
So I think everything's kind of playing in their favor, at least for Game 3, I would think. And it's a way to kind of turn off what just happened. You just got whooped, and now you have an opportunity to turn that off.
Do you think they do?
I think they win Game 3. I think they go up. They go up 2-1.
Okay. All right. It's going to be electric over there tomorrow night. You got Boston coming in basketball-wise, Boston coming in baseball-wise.
I'll be half over there.
Half over.
Well, I'll be doing the pre and post, but I'll already be over there for the game, so I might as well sneak into some playoff basketball.
You might
as
as
well.
I may have a place where you can go to watch the game.
I have one, too.
All right. Maybe we'll be together. Well, you can't share a beverage because you're going to be working, but I'll have one for you, Rick. How about that? All right. So your Phillies yesterday, 5-0 lead, look good early, clutch hits, really nice inning there where they get the 3 runs, I believe, to make it 5-0. And then Aaron Nola, 5-0 lead. And I was telling these guys earlier, I don't think you heard it, that I was in with Ray Dunn, and he was looking it up, and he said Aaron Nola's ERA is 1 run higher when he has a 3 to 5 run lead.
It's not good.
Why is that, Ricky?
I don't know. Can I ask anybody here, if you're on the mound, going out on the mound as a starting pitcher, would you rather have a 5-run lead or a 1-run lead?
A 5-run lead?
Yes.
5.
But I have a feeling he just lulls himself. Bad enough he lulls others to sleep. He may just lull himself to sleep on the mound.
He gets too
sometimes.
comfortable.
Get a little comfortable, and you think to yourself, I don't have to make good pitches. I just throw the ball up there, and next thing you know, it's bang 5-3. Thompson came on and said, well, it was a fly ball to center field. I didn't think it was going out. I don't give a crap. It's a home run.
Yeah.
It's a home run. And I look at it this way. This is a guy that if he's not going well in July, I don't know what's going to happen there. Why?
With what? You mean keeping him in the lineup?
I think a couple ways. What's happening to the team if he's not going well by July? And I'm talking like streaks of 4 or 5 good games in a row. That's what you need to see from a number 2 starter. You're not seeing that from Nola. Plus, the loss of velocity is very concerning.
Yeah,
now,
91,
it
92.
wasn't at first because I thought it would go up the ladder.
Yeah, because he was working his way into
starting to plateau, which I'm a little shocked about.
Well, you just go out and get an ace.
Dombrowski might.
No, I mean, there'll be somebody available at the trade deadline.
I mean, they're leaving LA with the NL worst rotation ERA in the National League at 5.13. I don't think anybody expected
And your number 5 is doing okay. Well, with the exception of his last start.
Yeah. And you're getting bright spots all over. The reason they're not winning more baseball games is the starting rotation.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, their starting rotation has just been awful. I mean, you look at Taijuan Walker. What the hell is going on here?
I have no idea. I don't know who he is.
You know what bothers me? He's a guy that has so much movement. Just throw the ball to the middle of the plate and let it move. Don't walk everybody. You're killing yourself.
Yeah, it has been disappointing. You thought that maybe Nolan Wheeler were turning a corner, and then Suarez comes back, and then maybe one of the end guys, whether it's Falter or Strom, they could just pick up the slack as that 5th start, and okay, here you go. But none of that's been happening. I mean, Nola wasn't good yesterday. Wheeler's been good his last couple of outings, but that's not enough.
I was concerned a little bit, and you guys could jump in anytime you want. I was concerned a little bit when they left spring training. And because when you have a shortened offseason, which they did,
right,
at least a month shorter for most of these guys, and I was concerned especially for Wheeler because of his issues in late August last year and into September, and then again in the playoffs, he had to be pushed to 5 days rest instead of 4, and then they come to spring training and nothing looked right. Nothing about the starting pitching looked right leaving spring training. What did you guys think? They left spring training and I
blah. I guess I just chalked it up to going into a World Series and a long season, and those were two of the top 5 innings pitch guys in the National League, and I just thought it would come around. And now, it's the first week of May, and it's not consistently coming around. So yeah, in hindsight, it's very troubling.
I don't like the way I wouldn't say babied them in spring training, but they limited them in spring training. I mean, Aaron Nola, 37 pitches on your last outing of spring training. That's a little confusing.
I was just going to bring that up because I heard you say that on the most phenomenal show ever, that 37 pitches his last.
By the way.
I'll get to that. It's growing.
Right.
That's amazing. It's weird. It's strange. Is it a case that Rob Thompson maybe had to use this first month of the season as that building block because you really didn't have it in spring training?
If that's the case, okay, fine. You got over 500 at that point, and now all of a sudden you run into a little buzzsaw and you lose 3 in a row out in L.A. to a team that's better than you at this point during the season. They're better.
Yeah,
I mean they're a better team, and it still hasn't proven anything about the starting pitching. If one guy escapes and looks fantastic, which looks to be Wheeler, I think that's what's going to happen. That you still need those other guys to step it up a notch. If they're going to be kind of up and down all season long, then you're not a number 2 starter.
Yeah. So the pitching is the main concern. The lineup has been fine.
Scored 6 runs yesterday.
Should be enough.
It has not been fine every game.
There's not the Schwarber leadoff thing.
Well, that's what my question was going to be, right?
Starting to, and I know I say this knowing he's going to come around and get hot once we get to June. The back of his baseball card tells you he's going to do it. It's not the best option at leadoff. It's just
dumb.
not.
You have Trey Turner. You have Bryson Stott.
Bryson Stott is killing
We're going
it
with one of the best power hitters in baseball. Rick, I said yesterday, it'd be the equivalent of having Ryan Howard bat leadoff back in 2012, 10, 11, 12, when he was hitting like 220 consistently.
I don't make the rules in baseball nowadays, but this is what they do. I mean, we've seen Aaron Judge lead off a bunch last year.
But why?
Because they figure, well, we could get one run with one swing of the bat because he hits a home run every 14 at bats.
But you could get a home run every 14 at bats with people on base.
But it's just okay. This is your analytics. This is your younger.
I just don't get it.
I'm trying to explain to you. It's the younger generation. But the teams are still run within that organization because of the fact that guys like John Middleton and every owner has spent X amount of money on this analytic crew. They have to use it.
So if Rob Thompson goes up to Schwarber and says, "I want you batting cleanup," does he put up any fight there?
I don't think Schwarber has a fight
because he's the ultimate club's guy.
But I don't think he has a fight. I think he'd be like, "All right, I'll hit 4th." I don't think he's one of those guys that is like, well, I need to hit this, and this. I've heard, I don't know for sure, but through a grapevine that Harper probably said he wanted to hit 3rd when he came back.
Oh, that I have no problem.
So I mean, if you're Thompson, that made it a little easier. Okay, I got to poke him in there at 3rd, and now I have to work around that. So Trey Turner's probably going in front of him because of the lefty-righty situation.
Is that overrated?
Yes. On this team, I would say the top 5 hitters, it's very overrated.
I hate having all these outside forces that aren't just the best lineup dictate your lineup.
Well, I want you to think about this for a second. Right-handers, you never have that thought.
No, never.
Never. That never comes into play.
And the majority of the pitchers are right-handed.
Right. Never comes into play.
I don't get it.
Why
are we overthinking baseball?
The reason is because they don't see left-handed pitchers as much. That's it. So if they were seeing lefties every day, it would not be like, here comes a lefty-lefty situation.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's a bunch of crap anyways because these left-handed pitchers are no more left-handed specialists.
What do you mean by that?
There's no more left-handed specialists.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about just in general.
I'm talking like these guys that come out of the bullpen. Name one. Name a left-handed specialist. No.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a good point.
I mean, there used to be a bunch. Now there's not. And it just comes down to the point that why go lefty, righty, lefty? You don't have to.
I think it's the most overrated thing in the world.
Okay, here's a perfect example to back you up. Bryce Harper. Do you care who he's going up against?
Not at all. Doesn't even cross my mind.
No, same for Schwarber.
Yeah.
I mean, if Schwarber's going to strike out, he's going to very well strike out against a righty too.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you on that one. I never understood the rules have changed a little bit, lefty righty. I understand that, but
it's
not
more for the bullpen. But now there's the 3-batter minimum, so even that's shifted, and it's just like I don't.
But there's also the other thing that's really been taken away from the game is throwing inside.
Yeah,
lefty, you throw inside, then you have the outside part of the plate.
Yeah.
You don't see them do that anymore.
We were talking earlier about a big play yesterday in the game was Edmundo Sosa missing that play at third base.
Catch the freaking ball.
As good as a middle infielder he is. Jamie was saying he's not a third baseman. You either have to get a third baseman or a first baseman. Which would you prefer for this team? Where do you want Bohm to be?
I would put Bohm back over at third.
Me too.
I think he covers a lot of ground. He's a big man.
He is,
and I know
long,
people say, "Well, he doesn't have the quickest of feet." It doesn't matter if
when you're 6'4",
all you
and
have
you
to
can lay
do
down.
is fall one way or the other. You're covering 15 feet. So
it's wild to think that we're sitting here saying put Bohm back at third
I know.
base.
Yeah,
a year after.
That's a
what
credit
happened.
to him.
But
No, it is, and that's what I'm pointing at. Yeah, it's a credit to him.
After that day that happened with the 3 errors, after that day, he's become better on a daily basis, and that's what you want a major leaguer to do.
I find it ironic because the narrative since he's gotten into the pros was, all right, just put him at first base, as if like that's so easy. Well, he seemingly picked up first base really well, but he's also improved so much at third base that now we're sitting here watching Edmundo Sosa, who came over for his glove, by the way.
Yeah.
He came over for his glove, and we're sitting here going, oh, by the way, put Bohm back because he's a better option. It's a testament to the work ethic of Alec Bohm.
I just think it's a ball that he catches 99 out of 100 times.
It was weird, and his reaction, he was really down.
He was not happy. Yeah,
Alvarado even said something to him before he went back on. Like, dude, come on, it's okay, let's go. He's hitting his glove, and then they kept showing him in the dugout. And he was just sitting there with his head down.
Well, I think he knows why he's in the big leagues.
Yeah,
he's not there because he's going to hit 500 home runs in the big leagues.
Yeah, and it's,
no chance.
How many?
500.
Yeah, no chance of
By
that.
the way, I just looked it up because I was curious. Bryce Harper in his career versus left-handed pitching has a 262 career average versus right-handed pitching 288.
Okay.
He's almost like that's not enough for me to dictate anything.
And it's probably limited in comparison.
Yeah.
Like
it's 4,129 versus righties, 1,700 versus lefties.
You see what I mean?
Yeah,
the
it's
comparison
ridiculous.
is different. I mean,
and the power numbers versus lefties is good. He's got 63 home runs.
Yeah. See,
I got to say, the Schwarber thing pisses me off than anything.
It's
lefty,
starting to
righty.
really grind my gears.
I just don't get it because it's so simple to say. Sorry, Pat. You don't want to put somebody on base to clog your fastest runner. Trey Turner's one of your fastest runners. Why?
Preseason without Harper, it wouldn't have bothered me. I understand you're still blocking Turner, which is why I have accepted putting Turner in the leadoff role.
Yeah.
I just think guys that are comfortable in certain spots, which we know Schwarber was. I mean, he hits 46 home runs basically out of the leadoff spot. But
why can't he do that?
What good is that doing you when 7 of them right now, all 7 of his right now are solo?
Well,
are they really? Is he 7 for 7 this year?
Oh, he led the majors in solo.
I know last year he did. I didn't know he was this year.
I've said this stat, at nauseum, Rick, but last year he became, I think, the 6th or 7th player in Major League history to have 47 home runs and not reach 100 RBIs.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, and the idea that all of a sudden you take Kyle Schwarber out of the leadoff spot and his power just zaps away, get the hell out of here.
I doubt that.
We're talking about a guy who's a 220 hitter here. All right, he's 220, he's boomer bust. If you put him at third, is he going to all of a sudden not be able to hit a home run? Fourth? And the whole clogging the base path thing, well, they're not running with Trey Turner anyway in front of Schwarber because for fear that it'll open up a bag. Like the coddling of Kyle Schwarber, it's been pissing me off for a year plus now.
Wow.
No, you've heard me rant about it
I know.
before.
I didn't know. I never heard it turned like that.
It's because of the fact that I know that he's not a guy that is a prima donna.
Doesn't appear to be at all.
But we've talked him as, well, we need him comfortable. And we can't have a guy run and open up a bag because it might take away his power and he might walk. And, what are we talking about here? He's the most likable clubhouse-ish leader guy. Put him anywhere in the lineup. He's going to hit bombs.
My mock thing before Harper came back was put him at 4 or 5.
Yeah, that was my thing.
And it would not bother. I mean, that's how it was played when I played.
He's the
you had the
epitome
big
of a four-hole
boppers 3,
hitter.
4, and 5.
Right.
And there were a lot of steroids there. So they had the big boppers at 2 through 7.
It seems like through a lot of it is analytics. We've overthought the simplicity of the game.
Doesn't that piss you off?
And it's pretty simple, right? It's not rocket science. You got a guy that hits a lot of home runs, you put him fourth because there's a chance that the bases are loaded and 4 runs is better than a solo shot.
Ask Max Muncy.
I don't know where we were yesterday.
Have his phone number.
I'm thinking 8th or 9th inning yesterday. Stott's on first base. And we're thinking, go.
Yeah.
There's
Why
2
aren't
outs,
they going
go.
this year? They don't seem to be running an awful lot at all this year.
It's Bryson Stott for crying. Go.
Yeah, Turner hasn't run all that much. Stott hasn't run. Your leading runner when he's on base is probably JT.
I believe it was Gratterall was pitching, so it was taking him forever.
Oh, Brewster.
Boom was up.
Okay.
And we were sitting there. Okay, go.
I feel myself saying that quite a bit with this team and watching them not. Go.
I don't know if
they've gotten the memo that like it's easier now, but I mean the fact that JT Realmuto has more stolen bases than Trey Turner, that's absurd. That's dumb. This is a guy that led the league in stolen bases twice, and your catcher has more stolen bases than him. What the hell's going on?
I got to tell you though, JT's
now I'm getting like pissed off.
JT's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. And stealing bases, you have to know what's going on.
No, yeah, that wasn't a knock on JT.
No, I know.
Like I remember when Shane Victorino came up, it was he's got all this speed, but he had no idea when to go, and he had to work with Davey Lopes. And Davey Lopes helped him become a really good stolen
base running is an art. I mean, people don't understand that. People
Trey
think
Turner's great at it.
Yeah, people think that because you can play a softball game and run around the bases, that hey. It's artful. I know what I'm doing, you know.
That felt pointed at somebody. That felt aimed. I know you weren't looking in this direction, but I felt that one, Ricky.
Oh, crap. I forgot you're an all-star girls softball player.
Men's.
Wow. Oh, men's. Sorry.
Yeah. Is the IQ of this team something to worry about? You talked about smartness with JT and running the base pass. Yesterday, Kimbrel gives up a stolen base where he doesn't even look at a guy in a tie ball game.
Okay, let me start with the Kimbrel thing. Kimbrel... He's going to give up a stolen base even if he's going quick to home plate.
Okay.
So don't even worry about the guy.
Okay.
People are going to steal off of him left or right.
We've seen other things that make you scratch your head with this team. Has it
the
for
base
you?
running mistakes on a constant basis? How about this one? I don't know if anybody saw it. You guys might have been sleeping. Brandon Marsh the other night threw a ball to the pitcher or tried throwing it, I guess, to the pitcher, standing in between third base and home. You didn't see this?
No, I didn't.
No, I was late.
Threw it by the pitcher almost into the dugout. Oh man!
Did somebody ask for that ball?
Nobody was going anywhere. He just fired it.
Maybe it was somebody's.
Everybody moves up a base and scores a run.
Maybe it was somebody's first single and they wanted the ball. He was trying to help him out.
He was throwing it to Taiwan Walker. I do know that for a fact because it almost drilled him. But what? Number one, just lob it into second base. Nobody's moving on the base pass.
Yeah, sometimes the baseball IQ concerns me a little bit.
There's a little bit more of a problem than that in the outfield. There's a lot of balls falling in right and left field.
Well, yesterday, Castellanos comes in for one. I'm thinking, okay,
Almost
here comes that sliding catch.
Line.
Yeah.
And the ball just goes by him.
He didn't want to slide on the dirt.
Think about it this way, though. Schwarber definitely wasn't signed for his defense. You know, this was a guy that was signed.
Neither was Castellanos.
Castellanos was signed to be a DH.
Well, both of them kind of were.
Yeah. My whole point, I'm not surprised at their bad defense.
It may be time to move. It really may be time to move Schwarber from left to first base.
That's getting crowded at first,
I know he's not great over there.
All of a sudden, we found our first baseman, Jamie.
Now we got about four of them. Harper's going to play first. Bohm's going to play first. Schwarber's going to play first.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, are we just praying that Harper's arm gets better quickly?
Well, he's not going to throw this year, right?
No, he's throwing.
Is he?
He's on a throwing program.
First base throwing program?
He said he was zipping.
He said when he's returning, he's going to be, if he plays the field, he'll be a first baseman.
By the way, I want you to think about this. There's a guy that just went on the injured list in spring training, and now Harper's playing first base. What do you think he's thinking?
I think he's fine with it.
Derek Hall?
Yeah.
Really?
Reese.
Wrong one.
Oh, dude,
Reese?
I forgot Derek Hall
Hoskins.
existed.
Well, I'm thinking Derek Hall thought he got his opportunity, and now he's like,
I'm definitely out of here now.
No, I totally disagree with you. I think there's a better shot that Reese Hoskins comes back now than there was before the injury.
Yes, for a trial run.
Yeah, for a 1-year prove-it contract, but
if Harper's playing first base, then absolutely.
But then who plays right field? Because you don't have an outfield prospect.
Okay,
ready
but
to
you
come
still
up.
have two other guys that are signed, so somebody's got to play right field.
Yeah, so Harper plays right field.
I'm okay with Castellanos playing
Casty's going to stay in right.
Yeah. Schwarber's the DH.
No, I think if they both are healthy, Harper's in right field.
He can go to left. Yeah, you put Castellanos in left, Bryson right.
God,
Schwarber's the DH. I mean, he's brutal.
That didn't just give you chills moving Casty now over to left. It's a completely different angle coming off the bat. Oh,
this team isn't known for their defense. I think we can all agree upon that. When we get back here at the John Kincade Show, we're going to talk to Ricky a little bit more about the happenings of the Sixers last night, try to get some insights into how he feels about that dismal performance, and we're also going to ask Ricky some things. What does he know about? This is the John.
now. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
How about if I turn it on? John Kincade Show here, 97.5 The Fanatic. We got Ricky Batalico in the house. We're going to ask him some questions. We're dancing. That's right. That Sixers loss behind us. And as we head into the final stretch of the morning, presented by Stretch Zone. Want to relieve sore muscles, increase your flexibility and range of motion? Book your free 30-minute stretch session today at stretchzone.com. You went to one, right, Rick?
I did. It's outstanding. I mean, it is like legitimately you walk out of there, you feel pretty good about yourself.
Yeah, I've been meaning to stop by.
You have to go.
Yeah.
And not just because John does it, whatever.
No, I want it.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's legit. Like, you go in there and they're not. I've been stretched in the big league level before. This is actually better.
Really?
Well, at the big leagues, you got 20-something guys waiting for 2 or 3 people. There, you get it yourself. They put you into these harnesses. Oh, they nail exactly what you need. Like if you're lower back.
My shoulder's been bugging me out.
What you need
done. I don't know. Wow, speechless.
Yeah. But so they go from head.
Apologize for
They go
him.
head to toe.
Well, you could go in there like Jamie says his shoulder. They will work on your shoulder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I could go for that.
See, I'm big
neck
on the
action.
lower back. Just get my lower back loosened up.
Yeah.
My back's been locking up recently.
Picking up kids' toys, really. I understand why all men get bad backs in their life. You spend like the first 8 or 9 years of your kids' lives just bending over and
Isn't it unbelievable?
picking up crap on a
You know
daily
what,
basis.
though? I got to tell you something. My daughter sent me pictures the other day from when they were little. It rips your heart out, man. You miss those days.
I know. I'm trying to.
And you're in them right now. I know it's hard to enjoy them.
No, I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
But like, take mental slap shots. Slap shots.
Slap
Don't slap them.
Yeah.
Take snapshots.
But picking up
of 'em.
toys, I can do with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You step on them every once in a while when it's dark.
I was
Those Lego
over,
toys,
I was over Jamie's house for about an hour last week before we went golfing. So I saw him do the daddy thing.
Yeah.
He's pretty damn good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 2 great girls, so it's.
Well,
I don't
want to say it'd be great
easy.
without great parenthood.
Are you shooting for more?
No, I took care of that.
No, his shooter doesn't
Oh, that's
shoot
right.
anymore.
That's right.
I tapped
That
out.
actually got me in trouble on our show.
Why?
I don't remember
It turned
when
into
that
a whole,
happened.
vasectomy
it turned
show.
into a whole show.
Wow.
Talking
Did you
about
do that?
Snip, snip.
No, our show
No.
did. We just brought it up and we were talking
Wait,
about
your
it.
show, the entire show did it as like a unit, like a team bonding thing.
Jamie was out at the time because it was the day you went.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Oh!" And it started a whole thing, and it turned into our whole show.
Yeah.
Somehow
It wasn't that bad.
I didn't think it was bad at all.
My favorite story, I guess, like a side story with all that, is that your mom picked you up and drove you.
Yeah, my mom grabbed the sizzly and picked me up.
Honey, how are your nuts?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you have to have
you
somebody drive
Would you like some ice for those?
They don't let you drive home on your own.
Why
Yeah.
is that?
Why are you here, Ricky?
What do you mean?
I mean, I love you being here,
Jeez,
but who
dude.
brings you here?
Oh, jeez.
What a segue.
I joined
are
the
you
show.
here,
Well, he picked it up and he's like shoving it in my face.
Well,
So
I don't want to
figured-
miss it
No, we
because
do
then we get in
not.
trouble. I'm brought to us courtesy of our good friends at Paul B. Moyer and Sons. Go where the pros go for outdoor power equipment, from mowers and zero turns to hedgers and trimmers. Shop Paul B. Moyer and Sons in Doylestown or Jamison, PA, or online at paulbmoyer.com.
Nice. You cutting any lawns lately?
I've not cut a lawn.
I cut yesterday. It's great.
Oh, he's got a sweet mower. I saw his mower in the garage,
Sit
too.
down.
Oh, yeah.
Sit down cup
Got a-
holder.
A cup holder.
You know, I kind of miss
I love it.
not the push yourselves, but the help along ones.
Oh, I
Get some
love
exercise in.
Yeah.
Those other ones, that's not exercise. That's drinking
It's,
a beer and enjoying
Listen,
your
yeah, it's
ride
me
around.
time.
There's medical research behind the positive effects of mowing your lawn. It's therapeutic.
It's rewarding.
Yeah, it's a sense of accomplishment. It helps your anxiety level. Like, it actually is medically good for you to get out there and mow your lawn.
And then
You
you,
know
have
what's
a beer
really
and look at it and really enjoy
You know
it.
what's really medically good for you when you're doing the push mower and you hit a stick and it rips your leg? Yeah, it's good.
What? What?
Yeah, one too many times on that one.
Yeah.
Why would that happen?
I don't let things go until it falls apart.
I broke my driver's or passenger side window last year because a rock. Shattered.
Look, Bob's over there like, what?
Well,
What the hell?
I landscaped for like 10
I
years.
kill
of
it
my
on the
life.
driveway. It must have been on like the first cut of the grass. Picked it up. And,
The reason I had that
What an
perplexed
idiot.
look.
I know.
So the guy that I worked for, I texted him. I said, he's a real numbers guy. It's my old high school basketball coach.
You say
I said, how
Crawford.
many lawns did I cut about? Do you think? And he went over. He says, you're over 10,000 for his lawn company. So the reason that I was wondering if I ever had any like real mishaps. I don't think I did have anything like that. I had one of my boys, Glenn, cut off the tip of his finger going to like change the blade, and it kind of started up.
Okay.
Dude,
Dude,
I don't remember anything.
I had
that
a guy
bad.
one time. I was driving down a back road on the way to a baseball game, and I had my windows open, and this guy was cutting the side of the road on the other side, and he shot a rock out and smoked my my side mirror. If it hadn't hit the mirror, it would have come in and got me.
Oh, man.
So now every time I go by someone mowing their lawn, I like kind of flinch and duck, or I close the window.
He's gun shy.
Yeah, I am. I'm scared of these
He hears a
lawnmowers.
mower start, and he's on the floor.
Terrified.
I gotta tell
It's
you,
like nom.
My dad, on the mower, I mean, hours and hours a day.
Really?
Just driving around the yard. He
They're
doesn't
fun
even
to
care.
Sometimes I get the girls and just go for a ride.
He doesn't even care. Oh, yeah. We
Yeah, they
actually
love it.
used it.
Let's
We
go to
actually,
Wawa.
back when I was married and my daughters were young, we had a double birthday because one of them we were away or I was away. So we had a double birthday right around Halloween. So what we did was we had this hayride. So I took my
that's
lawnmower and we had this attachment driving the kids
Nice.
around. I didn't care.
Yeah, no, they're great.
Mr. Patalco, he's the best. Hey, right. Ricky knows an awful lot about a lot of things, but let's dig a little deeper into what he does.
Bo knows baseball. Bo knows football.
We couldn't get Bo Jackson, but we do have Ricky Bo. So let's find out what Ricky Bo knows.
Ricky, what do you know about the Met Gala?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing
I
at
know
all.
that people wear a lot of Chanel there, if I'm not wrong.
Chanel?
Is it Chanel or
Yeah, Chanel's big.
Well, they wear
Don't-
all the fashion.
Dolce & Gabbana?
Yeah,
all that
I mean, they
kind
were
of
all like
Balenciaga.
garbage.
Wait a second. Don't say you don't know much and
Hugo
you're throwing all
Boss.
these things
No,
out.
because it's all about a bunch of stars going there just to
Fashion.
be seen.
Louis Vuitton is
Yes.
the most expensive company in the world. Bob.
Yes, I know that.
Yes.
So let me ask you, have
Bob's
you ever...
wearing Louis V right now?
I am underwear.
They made that
have
claim to
you
Catholic.
ever... Hey, you think this comes cheap from Third Base Sports and Trophies? Have you ever walked a red carpet?
Yes. I guess 96 All-Star Game, the gala.
Ah.
That would probably be it.
What did you wear?
Probably
Were you
nothing.
tuxedoed up? Well, I don't think you went
Philly,
naked.
I
a
don't-
Phillies uniform.
I got a problem with
Please.
dressing up. I don't like dressing up.
Neither
I don't
do I.
like ties. I don't even care if I match. Is that bad?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
I just
I don't
want
like
to be
dressing
casual.
up, but
Who am I trying?
if
Who
I
am
have
I
to, I'll-
impressing?
if I have to, like
I love how
look good.
people will say something that when you're wearing something odd, you're like, am I trying to impress you? What am I doing?
I don't mind
Am I
getting
you?
dressed up because I do it so infrequently.
I do it every day. I got to put a jacket on.
Yeah, you
on
do.
the-
You don't do the tie thing though on TV.
No, hell no.
Yeah.
After we used to, and when they eliminated, I eliminated. No, threw them all away. I believe I threw all my ties away.
Can you tie a nice knot on a tie?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have
Are
a
you a
problem with
reverse
tying the
Windsor
knots.
guy, or you don't know?
I don't know what it's
Are you
called.
just a wrap?
I'm a double wrap down and through.
He looks like a
Okay.
half wins kind of guy.
Yeah, Catholic school teach you how to.
I
how to
did
tie
too.
a
I
used
good
to know the
tie.
way.
You know
Yeah.
what,
I've
though?
lost it.
I do a
Catholic
reverse
school with the
Windsor.
tie. You know what? I went with the clip-on.
Nice.
I did. After a while, I was like, you know what? I spent all this time doing this. I literally put 3 clip-ons in my locker, and that was it.
At LaSalle, I just had one tied, and then I'd slide it off over the head.
I did that,
and
too.
And then they ruined the tie.
You
'cause
kept
keep
it in
the
your
knot.
locker, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You
We're just in the
You want to
shirt.
talk about not matching? Oh, that was it.
We all shared. So we all had like a jacket or two in our lockers, and you just go into each other's locker and take one out, and you didn't care. You
Well,
tried
back
to
then,
match
we
a
had the
little
cool
bit.
kids. I thought they were cool. They would have their ties down to here like
Oh, yeah.
At
idiot.
Doherty, we had polos for 3 years.
See,
And then
that's
as-
cool.
And then as a senior, you got the senior quote privilege was you get to wear a shirt and tie.
No, I'd
I
rather
ended
wear
up,
the
I
polo.
ended,
See,
I
our
ended up wearing
senior-
a shirt and tie because I wore a polo for 3 years.
Everybody played sports at my high school because you could wear your uniform tops
Oh, is that
Oh, yeah,
right?
we had
and
the same
the
thing.
sweatpants that you get.
Yeah, the
with
day of the game, you could like wear your.
Yeah, so baseball,
Whatever.
I was in basically sweatpants the whole time.
All right, Rick, what do you just talked about birthday parties. What was the best birthday party you ever attended?
Attended?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the birthday party of our country in New York.
Sounds like a guy who's never been invited to a birthday party.
No, I've been to them. I hate them.
I don't know.
What year?
What year?
July 4th.
2004. Impressive. New York City.
Okay.
You got.
Saw all the fireworks.
You were done
in New
playing
York City.
2004. You still
No, I
playing?
was still playing.
No,
It was
you were with the
poker.
Mets,
We had a
right?
day game.
Oh, you were
believe
with.
it or not.
Oh, okay.
You with the Mets?
Yeah. We had a day game, so it was pretty
that
cool
team
for my.
sucks.
It was cool because I was with my daughters, but I can't. You know what? My 30th birthday sucked.
My 30th was awesome. We
Have
went
you-
to Chicago with like 10 of our friends.
I'm
Yeah. Have
always
you, have
playing
you ever
for my
had
birthdays.
a one thrown for you, like a birthday party? Like what? Like how do MLB teams, like your birthday?
No,
your birthday
Mine was in the summer. So
yeah, your
no.
birthday runs through the summer. So how do MLB teams? How would they handle it? Does anyone do anything for you?
Happy birthday, nice
That's
pat
about
on
it?
the back.
Pat Burrell says, "Come with me. We're going out."
Yeah, there's no like dinners or anything like that. No gimp masks.
You don't know where you're going to be. You don't know if you're home. You don't know if you're.
Yeah, but you have a
going away.
schedule.
You have
It's
the
not-
schedule,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not.
I told you about my 30th birthday present, right, from my wife at the time.
Yeah. What was it? It was supposed
A
to
Mark
be McGuire.
McGuire painting.
Yeah.
That's
Or
what
she said you had to get it signed
It
yourself.
was signed and it's gone now. Like the signage is gone.
That's
off
why
it.
she's your ex-wife, right?
I mean, I think that's a horrible gift.
Yeah, it's
for a
not
baseball-
great.
for a baseball
For
player.
a
Here's
pro
your
baseball
teammate.
player, yeah,
Give
exactly.
me,
yeah.
give me a new driver. I mean,
Yeah.
get a driver,
Or
something.
like
a basketball poster.
You're
not a
using my
baseball.
money anyways. Go get me new golf clubs.
And if it's going to be baseball stuff, get like a Babe Ruth baseball or a
Yeah,
Mickey
get-
Mantle ball,
Get
not your
something that
teammate.
Get something that you can't walk 6 feet over and get signed yourself.
It's actually true.
Yeah. Rick, what do you know about the U.S. Treasury saying they could default on pretty much everything in about 4 weeks?
That means everything you got in your pocket that's paper means jack, I would assume.
That's exactly what it means.
I would
think.
assume that all those billionaires, now they're on our level. We can go and kick all their asses. Let's go kick all their asses. Anybody with me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. Let's
we'll
purge.
take out
I'm
everybody.
down.
Yes, the
Yeah,
purge.
I'm in.
I'm going with him.
Yeah.
Did you knock me out?
No, you're on.
No.
You got your headphones.
Are you good?
Oh, it's my
You're
headphones.
just ready to go attack, some jobs.
Billionaires. Yeah,
I'm
billionaire
with
blood.
you,
Got so
Connor.
excited about the purge, you blacked out a little
I'm
bit.
with you. Who are we going after first?
We can't say that. They'll get too much security.
No, because if it's the purge, you get a free 24 hours. You can say whatever
Yeah,
you
but
want.
they could still have some defenses. We're not letting people know where we're going.
All right. Who's
Okay.
next?
Ricky, what do you know about Cinco de Mayo?
It's my daughter Sophia's birthday.
Really?
She is going to be 20 tomorrow. What do I think about Cinco? I'm scared to death for her next year.
Yeah, that's going to be
21 on Cinco de Mayo. I'm
And it'll
sure
be a
it's gonna
Saturday.
Be a big bash. I won't. I will be taking that day off to make sure she makes it through Cinco de Mayo next year.
Are you going to
Good
be
father.
designated driving?
No,
All right, I got one last
I
one
will
for
probably buy a driver for her that night.
Okay, gotcha.
No
That's
doubt.
nice.
No doubt.
you. Good move. What do you know about Star Wars?
I know minimal about Star Wars. I know Chewbacca, Princess Leia, Luke. I know all the characters. Han Solo, Jabba the Hutt's my favorite,
Why?
You're a
just
Jabba's
because he's ugly as sin.
I don't think.
Or
he should be your
Yoda.
favorite.
Yoda's
Yeah,
ugly.
let's go with Yoda over.
So,
Jabba the Hutt.
I remember.
Let's go with Yoda over the slaver.
In all honesty, I lost. This is going to sound horrible. I lost interest after number 2. Not me taking number 2. Me
We're
going
not that
to-
immature, Ricky.
going to the set. Yes, you are. Me going to the second Star Wars because I could remember seeing the first one in the movie theater. Do you remember seeing it in the movie theater?
Yeah, first Star Wars absolutely in the movie theater.
Probably,
I don't know if
probably
I saw
wasn't
any
even
after
in
that.
stereo.
That was probably black and white.
Yeah, it may have been.
That's not funny.
Ricky, what do you know about golf outing gift bags? And what I mean by that is, what's the best?
Best one I got is when NBC used to do theirs, and literally you go into 3 different rooms and pick out your whole wardrobe,
What?
including golf shoes, gloves, belt, hat, shirt, shorts, whatever. It was awesome.
That's amazing.
I was in a Flyers outing one year. This is, 20 years ago. And expecting nothing, but get there and same thing. They're like, all right, just go in this back room to get your bag. Got black and orange Adidas golf shoes that I wore for
But it wasn't
years
a
and
bag,
years.
right?
No, you picked up.
Yeah,
like
you walked
said.
in and there
You
was like
walked
it
in
was
and
like
you
a
got your
store.
own stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and they were like giving out bottles of wine and lobster.
I
it was
could tell you,
incredible.
you know,
They gave you a pet?
Yeah, but I walked it out on a leash
I'll
to
tell-
the car. I
I'll
said,
tell
what
you
did you want me to do with it?
As a matter of fact, the stuff was Ricky Fowler stuff. So everything was Puma.
Yeah.
Bright.
Very bright. I got
Yeah.
baby. I actually got the baby blue.
Oh,
so I
did you?
didn't go too bright, but it was definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, you get a full outfit plus socks. I remember I got the socks.
And with the price of how much that stuff costs, when we were talking about it recently, you go in and you look at something, you're like, it's probably like $50. It's like $300.
Oh yeah, I mean that whole outfit was probably $500 easy.
Rick, I know about Bet Parks, and Bet Parks is the official local casino partner of your Philadelphia 76ers. Must be 21
That's a
in
professional.
PA or New Jersey. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yes.
Bob.
What do you know about Tiger Woods letting his caddy go to Patrick Cantlay? Does that mean the end is near,
Yeah,
or he's just helping his boy out make some money in the short
It's kind
term?
of funny. I think it was after the first round of the Masters. I said Tiger's not going to make it. I said he's going to withdraw at some point, and everybody looked at me at the NBC content room and looked at me like I was crazy. And what happened?
Yeah.
He can't make it.
He had
Eh,
surgery again.
It's getting to the point where he may be the honorary hit the first tee shot coming up
jeez.
soon. Well, what do you? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't.
It's
I
a
don't,
shame. It sucks.
What's the
Unless
average
they
score
let
he
him-
wins by on the Senior PGA Tour? 12
he-
strokes at
Oh
tournament?
yeah, because he could take a.
He can take a cart.
Oh,
but
you
he's
can
not-
on the seniors?
But he's
Oh,
not 50
God.
yet.
He will be very
Yeah,
soon.
48, I think he is. Oh, wait, he's 47, I
So he's
believe.
got 3 years.
47, 48.
I think you got to be 50 on the.
Charlie will be a pro before Tiger's in the 50 tour.
You know what sucks? If he could take a cart, he'd be fine. I'm
Yeah.
sure he could get that, like that exemption because
Who was it?
somebody
Casey
did.
Martin did
Casey
it?
Martin had it because
because
but
of
he
the
had
leg
a
problem?
prosthetic.
He had a
Or-
leg that eventually had to be amputated, yes.
And to me, I don't see why they wouldn't just use carts.
Yeah, and shorts. I watched a little of the Live tournament.
They look better in shorts. It looks more
They look
comfortable.
more comfortable,
Looks
yeah.
more human.
Yeah. And
Because how many times do we see in the summer John Rahm huffing down the fairway just covered in
Drenched
sweat
in
in the
sweat,
middle
yeah.
of the summer?
Well, he's
I
a
mean,
Spaniard. They're a sweaty people.
No, but I'm just saying. What is the big deal if they were to wear shorts?
what did you say?
I don't know.
They're the sweaty people. You got
They're
on
a sweaty
Spaniards
people.
for some reason.
Horrible.
I know. As Half Creek, we're hairy, and yeah, if you're near the Mediterranean, you
Is that what the
sweat.
problem is?
Anybody looking forward to this weekend? The Red Sox coming in.
I'm going on
Yeah,
Sunday
sure.
for the Mother's Day event, so looking forward to that.
Friday's going to be hell down there.
I'm excited
Yep.
to see Yoshida.
Why?
Sixers and Phillies playing
Oh,
within
right.
an hour of
Boston
each
and
other.
Boston. You're
And
going to
the
hear a lot of
games-
yads.
And what's going to happen is the games will probably end right around the same time.
Oof.
That's going to be tough.
7:30 Sixers, 6:40 are they? Or are they back to 7?
7.
On Friday.
They're
It's
7:30.
7. Who is?
Yeah.
Sixers.
Yeah.
And Sunday,
What's the
the
Phillies?
Sixers are at 3:30.
What's
Sunday's
the
going to
Phillies?
suck too.
No, Sunday.
At least they'll offset a little bit.
A little bit, but people be getting down there.
Yeah, it's
It's going to be
Sixers
nuts.
are 3:30 on Sunday.
Yeah.
Phillies are 1, right?
1:35.
1:30. You got to move that. That's got to be moved to 1.
Or 12. How about a 12 o'clock Sunday? Dude?
They had,
game? I
can't.
like
they had a
12.
12:30 the other day.
They cannot do it because of Peacock.
Oh.
What do you mean?
They did have a 12 o'clock.
Peacock is the 12 or 12:30 game.
Oh, for Christ's sake! Seriously?
trick.
Yeah.
Nah, like, what are we doing?
Don't
We can't
u-
move
don't
it because
use
of
the Lord's
Peacock.
name
It's,
in vain.
it's
That's
a
mean.
damn streaming service. They can do it whatever they want. Like, it's not. They don't have a scheduled thing. It's a
But they're-
streaming service.
Okay,
You
but
became a little angry after 9 a.m. this morning.
Because that's dumb.
They're
Like, you
trying
can't
to
move to a
give-
12:30
Okay,
game because of a streaming
okay.
service.
They're trying to give them an hour window so people would actually go on Peacock and watch a game.
Staples Stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store. What concerns you, the Philadelphia Phillies or the Philadelphia 76ers in the positions that they are in currently?
I think the Sixers did their job. I know it's a cliche, but they did go up in Boston, and probably the better, the lower, obviously lower seeded team won a game. I mean, isn't that your job for the Sixers?
It is.
But after the whitewash last night, I'd say I'm a little bit more disappointed by the Phillies right now. I think you put a roster together like that and you expect so much more. And that's the one thing I've realized is that expectations are everything. And if you put somebody on a pedestal, you expect them to be on a pedestal all the time.
Who's been the least on the pedestal in the Phillies team for you so far this early season?
Oh, what do you mean, the worst player or the best
No,
player?
I don't want to say a guy who hasn't reached that pedestal.
Trey Turner.
Okay.
Trey Turner has not gotten it going yet. I think when you see Trey Turner, you saw what he could do in the WBC, where he was hitting the ball out of the ballpark, hitting the ball in the gaps, running the base. When he gets that going, I think then you'll know he's arrived. He hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah, and that's a guy I think that probably struggled after the WBC because of what Scherzer talked about. You go from a World Series type atmosphere to
It's a sleeper.
Yeah.
And Scherzer should just shut up because that guy's nothing but trouble.
I can't. I've despised that guy since Arizona.
Every time he opens his mouth, it's like negative. There's nothing ever that comes out of his mouth that he's happy about.
But was he wrong about the World Baseball Classic?
Which part? Oh,
that
injuries and stuff like that?
Well, yeah. Why am I going to go into a playoff atmosphere with a arm that's not nearly ready?
That's fine, but that's him. He's also
but he's kind of right.
He's also like 38 years old.
Yeah,
getting $40 million a year.
But is he right? I mean, the U.S. pitching staff was not good.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think.
How can they fix that?
I think Garrett Cole was right too.
Because the World Baseball Classic was awesome.
It's very simple. You put it in December.
No, I mean I'm glad he got his arm ready for that 5.58
How about the first 2 weeks of December?
Is that too long after most teams are eliminated?
Okay. How about the 2 weeks going up to Thanksgiving?
You're just do an Olympic break. Like we're trying to cut into an off season, and the Players Association isn't going to go for that. So just do an Olympic break. Hockey figured it out.
It's too much.
Like it's not that difficult. You take 2 weeks off of the season. Oh my God! Whoa.
Well, then the problem is then you move the season. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Season
goes back into now. You're late November,
and
maybe even December, playing in the Northeast.
If you start doing it on those years, you have to have like a site for the World Series because you can't be playing in Philadelphia in mid-November.
That'll never happen.
We talked about.
I'm just saying.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, what you could do is you could start the season a week earlier, and then you just have a week long or a week and a half of a world Olympic break. I mean,
it's not like you need practice.
No,
it's not like you're getting used to each other. It's kind of
you're still throwing a bunch of guys together that haven't really played together.
Everybody's at the same.
Yeah, it's like an all-star game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it could be. We talked earlier about how much does a blowout loss affect the Sixers moving forward. What about the Phillies? You go out to Los Angeles, you get outscored 26-5 in the first two games, and then give up a 5-0 lead and lose on a walk-off grand slam in the third game. A day off today, you come back from the West Coast. I know it's a long season. We all know that. But is there any longer-term or maybe even short-term effects of that, Rick?
I think there's short-term effects, obviously, on a game that you blow late. You had a 5-0 lead. You ended up losing that game yesterday with a grand slam, man. That sucks for Kimbrel. Couldn't that ball just hit the top of the wall and only one run comes in? Yeah. You ever think about that? He just tacked on 4 earned runs to his thing.
Oh, you're thinking that way. I was thinking win or lose. You were thinking of, okay,
they only need one. They're losing either way once that ball goes up in the air. But I will say this. I think the first game in L.A., you go in there, you get whooped. Okay, we got to come back tomorrow. Then you get whooped again. Then the tone changes. And then all of a sudden, you see the light at the end of the tunnel where, hey, we're going to get out of this thing. We're up 5-0 in this game. And then all of a sudden that goes to black. That's where things get a little sketchy.
How much of the second game of that series do you think had to do with Harper coming back? And maybe a little bit of what Embiid dealt with, of like the team kind of getting a little bit complacent, or
you can't get. I don't. You think the Sixers got complacent?
Not complacent, but like
it
a
makes
little,
sense.
like the monkey, like the chip on their shoulder's gone. The monkey's off their beds. All right, we got our MVP back.
Yeah.
They get a little more relaxed.
You definitely relax a little bit more, and maybe that hurt them. I would think, like baseball wise, you're thinking, wow, I could relax a little bit. I could just play my game. And then maybe they said, all right, let's just put it all on Bryce now. I don't know. I don't know how those guys would think, but I think the way you're supposed to look at it is that, okay, now I'm a piece. Now let's just go up there and have good at-bats. Instead, it was backward. It was bad.
We had a caller earlier that said he didn't appreciate the way Doc Rivers was on the bench and just kind of blew off the game last night. And I said,
you mean him sitting there with his arms crossed and kind of looking like this game's over?
Yeah, and just making subs like, all right, last guy on the bench, you get in there, this and that. I don't know if he went to the locker room and tore them a new one. I don't know. As a professional player, how would you like a manager, a coach, to handle something like that?
I don't think they say a word after that game.
Okay.
Just walk in there, tell them what time the plane is, and just walk into your office. That's it. they get the message.
Okay.
Message sent.
Yeah, I think that's part of why PJ Tucker's here. You know, James Harden has his best chance at a ring in many years. They're like, guys, I don't have to say what is obvious.
It's funny that you just said that because I was thinking to myself, or a leader takes over.
Yeah, maybe PJ Tucker broke a dry erase board and flipped the locker room upside and lit it on fire. Yeah. I don't know. Well, hopefully
that locker room is so small in that arena for the visiting team. If he flipped it over, he'd hit half of his teammates.
Really? It's that small?
Oh, my God. It is disgusting, their
That's
locker.
Fairly
they don't have
newish.
a training place. No, it's very new. They don't have it. You have the locker room is there. They literally put the players' numbers on a piece of tape and stick it up above the locker.
That's on purpose.
Is this organizational? Because wasn't there rumors about this at the Garden
They turned
too?
the heat up in the visitor.
Bunch of scumbags
They have
up
one
there.
training table
I would
in
do
there.
the same thing. Though.
I mean, I would too.
Where the players would put, when I was covering, would put a piece of tape on the floor in front of one training table to let the media know, I'm in the training area now, so you can't come and talk to. I mean, it's embarrassing the way Boston Garden puts up people.
Isn't there league rules to kind of?
If there is, they broke them. I don't know, but yeah, it's.
And the other thing about Doc, stop going back and forth.
What do you mean?
If you're going to be on his side, be on his side. Do not. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the fans.
Yeah.
One day it's his fault. Every loss is his fault. Every win is the players. The players played great.
I thought he coached a great game on Monday night. I thought he was really, really good.
Last night, by the way, take this for what it's worth. They got their asses handed to them last
They did.
night. Just take it. Just take it. It's game 2. You throw it in the trash. You're not going to go back to film on that game, are you?
No. I doubt it.
Probably not. No, because it's
even the things you did wrong. Embiid's not 100%. He's probably not going to be 100%.
I mean, I might show Harden and Brown footage of like, all right, we need to get a pick here immediately if he's picking them up here. You know, maybe some stuff you can learn from it, but for the most part, no.
I think it's a move on. I think that's 100% just a move on game because you don't want that. You don't want to see that again. You don't want to, so why bring it up if you're going to put it in the back of their minds? I mean, I think Doc could be the smart guy and be like, hey, here's what we did right. Here's what we did wrong. Let's move on from it, okay? Let's tighten that stuff up.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be something learned from how well
What did
Boston,
you learn from last night's game?
No, there has to be something learned. Let me rephrase. I'm sorry. There has to be something taught as to how to make Boston not make shots so easily. They shot the hell out of the ball both games.
Yeah, but a lot of it was from long range. I mean, do you think? Let's face it. I mean, it was a whooping. They got buried.
Yep.
Okay, so you take away 5 or 6 of those 3-pointers, you're still getting buried.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, how do you play them in defense? How do you play them defensively?
I wish last night in the first half they went 2 possessions playing a matchup zone. The Sixers did. I like their matchup zone. They might not like Embiid in it with a sore knee now because a center in a matchup zone does have to move a little bit. I don't put George Niang out on that floor. I don't think anytime soon.
Yeah, but the center's just got to move in the paint back and forth, right? It's,
a little
what is
bit,
it,
yeah. But
2
if you
shuffles every time.
You have 3 seconds, so you have to get out of there. But if they have Al Horford standing in a corner and your matchup, if they go 2 guards high and your rotation's that way, you have to get out there. I don't know. I love the matchup zone. They're going to have to try something different. Like Boston last night, I thought they did something interesting. To take away the high pick and roll of the Sixers, they went to a 3-2 zone. You can't run a high pick and roll with a 3-2 zone. You got 3 guys right up there. And the Sixers never adjusted. I was saying put Embiid down low, get Tobias Harris at the foul line, and play a high-low game right there. But they never did it. I don't know if they don't practice it. Some adjustments are going to have to be made, and you're going to have to learn from some of the bad stuff that was last night, probably. But I agree with you. Like Jamie said earlier incorrectly, you take the tape, you piss on it, and then you light it on fire.
Yes, I don't want to see that again.
No.
Especially if you're a player on that team. Do you really want to look at how bad things went?
No.
No, not at all.
No, probably
I don't want to. No, I didn't play last night. What are you talking about? We didn't have a game.
That's the way you should look at it.
Yeah.
That's the way they should look at it right now. We didn't play last night. Let's go get some rest today and come back on
I
Friday.
was able to kind of stick around over Boston.
All right, I'm down with
maybe
that.
Go to a Southeast strip club.
Every one of you just took a look at the clock. Every one of you in here just peeked up at the clock.
Because you have that. We're on a time,
Yeah,
time
because
restraint.
we have a show coming up afterwards.
What
We
is
do.
our out?
It's the Anthony Gargano show with the Tunas. They're coming up. Probably going to be some disappointment
Might
with
have heard of
Anthony
it.
today. I don't know how much of the song we'll hear today.
He might
Play
sound.
this song, Judas!
He might sound like somebody kicked Gagoots.
Or he could sound like, who cares? Forget about it.
I'm
Let's
going to
go.
say
Here
he's in
comes
the
game
who
3.
cares. It was over when it started type thing.
Could be. And you came out with what you wanted, which is what we talked about all day. You got the 1-1 coming out of there. Ricky Patalco, you are the best. Can't wait to hear you today on the best show ever. Thanks for coming around. And we want to remind you, tomorrow we're doing our first Friday show, driven by David Auto. If you want to be a part of the live studio audience, and we're asking you, come on out. YouTubers, anybody, listeners, streamers, come on out. All you have to do is go to 97.5thefanatic.com and secure yourself a spot with a guest. We're going to get Deke's Barbecue for breakfast tomorrow. Charlie Manuel, Keith Pompey, Mark Zumoff, they're all going to be there. Actor, comedian Harlan Williams, he's going to be there also. So come on around. Plus, if you come to the show, you could be the one who wins tickets to Friday night's Sixers playoff games. That's tomorrow. Go to 97.5thefanatic.com. This is the John Kincade Show here at 97.5 The Fanatic. John, hope to see you tomorrow. Everybody else, hope you listen to us tomorrow. Have